Computer. Yes. All right. Are we live? Got it. Everybody, welcome, welcome. Are we live? Yes, we are. Hold on. I got to change some of the settings.
Antukan's like phone camera is like really off the chain. That's like high quality like phone camera.
I'm only using a phone, dude.
That's like a 4K video camera, man. That's so insane. Look at like the quality of that.
Teka, let's well, first of all, can we go ahead and verify a little bit of making sure that everything is showing up? Oh, we are live. What's up, everybody? Musta na?
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas.
Magandang gabi, bayan. Pulutan.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Pero teka lang po, at i-share ko muna yung mga ano natin. Or actually, make it, ano ba yan? For everybody.
Yeah, go ahead. I will share them for you, the co-host.
Edit privacy. Public. Yan. Change audience. Guys, if you guys are doing a live, just make sure that change audience thing is on, because you know what? That's that thing. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode of whatever that we've got for the year, because we lost track of how many things that we've already got going on. We got a special treat for you tonight. First of all, we've got, let me introduce my people over here.
June!
Oh, and then Jamie. Depending on where your screens are.
Finally, we got our intro right.
Yeah. Na-excited kasi minsan parang diretso na lang sa ano.
Diretso na lang sa interview.
Oh, June, ano nangyari? Ba't kami walang t-shirt? Ikaw lang.
You know what? You guys need t-shirts? DM me. I got you. Yeah. The Jun and Paul Show apparel is now available. Please order at on our Facebook. Just say, you know. And by the way, you got a badass shirt there too, JB. Yeah. Puputan talaga. All right. Teka lang. So we have a special treat for you guys tonight. You guys have been seeing the posters. It's probably literally the biggest thing that happened in FMA. You know, I kid you not. Tell me something bigger than what we're about to go in with. You know?
Bigboy Eskrimador, right?
Bigboy Eskrimador.
We got Bigboy Eskrimador coming out of West Coast, California. Teka lang, blur yan eh.
No, Bigboy Eskrimador right there.
Oh, hey, how come you got a sticker and I don't? That's not cool.
Yeah, that's something we have to talk to.
Yeah. But
sticker in my laptop.
Yeah,
I put it in my laptop.
But it's Guro Francis Serrano, aka Bigboy Eskrimador, head instructor. I feel so official. Head instructor of Filipino Martial Arts School and co-founder of WAKWAK Company, not to be confused, mga WAKWAK the multo, but WAKWAK as WAKWAK. But anyway, here we go.
Is that a WAKWAK with Vaseline?
Slow roll into here. All right, let's bring him on. Let's bring him on. Let's see, where's he at? Yan, nandyan na. Yan.
Go hey!
Welcome
to the show.
In the house. Teka lang, if he could only turn on his microphone. Wala pa yata.
Ayun!
Quarter.
I had to put a quarter, so in order for me to be able to do that. So
nagpapa-dramatic effect entrance pa yan. It's like, oh, you can't hear me. My bad.
Oh,
maalala mo kaya.
Mas maasim ang tubig kaysa kalamansi.
There you go.
Everybody, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. We've talked about this for a while too, you know, in terms of getting to this point. So now I think about it, a lot of things has been in the works, you know. So pretty excited today because now we get to share with you guys Guro Francis, aka Bigboy Eskrimador, and I guess let's start with an icebreaker.
Sure.
Let's start with an icebreaker. I just have
Halo.
let's have a yeah. You're walking down the street and you saw an orphan child that was missing and stuff. Was no, I'm just kidding. I was getting controversial from our early conversation.
No, it's fine. I mean, I would go up to that kid and say, "Excuse me, are you an orphan?" And the kid would say, "How did you know?" He's like, how did you know? Well, you look like you were left behind.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
right?
Now, here's a question. The real question to go is where are you from and where do you live? You know?
Sure. So I came from the planet Krypton, and it was about to explode, and so my parents put me on a podcast called the Jun and Paul Show with JB, right? And sent me they sent me to Manila, right? And I never developed my powers because I could never get the sun because it rains all the time there, you know. And then plus the smog, and then so my powers became dirty. So you know, I just have Bastos powers.
Yes, dirty powers are always welcome.
Dirty powers. So yeah, no. So I'm from I was born at a very young age, and I was born in Manila, Makati, Manila, Philippines, right? Very very young. I was very very young when I was born. And but my father is from. He's a city boy. He's Manila, but my mom is from Tumawini, Isabela. So you know, just kind of that's where my lineage is from. But yeah,
damn, lineage kagad eh. Lineage kagad.
yeah.
Parehong Ilocano magulang mo?
Hindi sila. Ang nanay ko hindi Ilocano, Ibanag siya.
Oh, hey, I've dated a
Yeah.
That's my longest girlfriend in America.
Yeah. So no, it's. I mean, if you don't know the difference between Ilocano and Ibanag is a lot like Ilocano, but it's different.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Iba. You know, so they it's Iba nga. So that's why that's there. So, but my mom. So here's the weird part. My mom speaks most of the dialects. So she speaks Ibanag, Tagalog, siempre, and then she speaks Ilocano and Bisaya, right? And she also speaks Arab and Spanish and Korean. So pag galit siya sa akin, I don't even know what I did. Like, what'd you do? I don't know. I have no idea.
So did you pick up any of those languages?
Yes, I can speak English, American. I can speak British. I can speak Australian.
New Zealand English.
You know,
New Zealand
good
English.
Right? Yeah, New Zealand English. So
ang tanong, Francis, paano natutunan nanay mo ganun kadaming wika? Nurse ba siya?
No, she's not a nurse. Wow, racist.
Wow. Not profiling at all, huh?
I know, exactly. No, she wasn't. Actually, she was a trained optometrist.
Oh.
So she was an eye doctor. So you know, but she's a what do they call a polyglot, where they can just hear a person talk and then read their body language and then make the connection. The next thing you know, about 2-3 hours later, she's speaking to them in their language. But because she observes people, she also picks up their accents and their mannerisms. So, kaya yung mga taga Cebuano, yung mga Bisaya, taga Ilocano, they think that she's specifically from there because she picks up their mannerisms. Right?
Anong age ka dumating sa Amerika?
Very young, very very young. No, I came here when I was 9 years old.
It's still good enough to still understand and speak Tagalog. So
Parang mukha ko eh. Permanently 12. No.
Okay, no, kasi ang nanay ko hindi kami pinapayagan mag-English sa bahay eh. Dapat mag-Tagalog lagi. So, kaya bawal kasi from the very, you know, ever since I was born, my mom already knew the value of being able to speak multiple languages.
Multiple language,
right? So she saw the value in that. So kaya hanggang ngayon, marunong pa ako mag-Tagalog, mag-Tagalog. And you know, exactly. No, it's not the Girl Scout cookies. But to be quite honest, it has benefited me a lot, right? Hey, did you know they're coming out with another Girl Scout cookie? It's a dark chocolate one, right? It's called the Ilocanos. No, don't cancel me. I'm just kidding. I love Ilocanos.
Walang iya. Paano kami dito sa'yo?
I'm going to hell. I'm sorry. I should have not said that. Somebody delete that. Oh, we're live. Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Delete.
Wait,
Control of delete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say that. My name is Julius Francisco. So that's why. Yeah, no, but yeah. So my mom, like, so even so, when I was in high school, and I told June this earlier, that when I was in high school, my guidance counselor told me that in order for me to graduate, I had to take a second language class. I'm like, great, I'm already taking it. It's called English, right? And they're like, that doesn't count. I'm like, well, it doesn't count for you, but English is my second language, right? And like, he's like, but you never took ESL. Oh, I mean, and many of us know this, that if you were born in the Philippines and then lumaki ka doon, pagdating mo dito, your English is actually more academic style, like higher level reading.
Correct.
Right. So mine was already, I was at third grade and I already had a college age reading level. So they never had to put me in ESL, in the actual English as second language courses, right? But officially, English is my second language. So my guidance counselor was confused. She was like saying to me, like, hey, we're gonna have to give you a Filipino test. I'm like practically the only Filipino here. And then I'm like, just tell me what time the test is. I'll show up 30 minutes late. That's the Filipino test right there, right? You show up on time, you fail. Right?
I was worried you were going to show up late tonight.
Exactly. So I know I was planning to do that. So,
hey, I'm profiling. You profile.
Exactly.
Lahat kayo mga nagpo-profile.
Lahat kayo, we're all going to hell on a Vaseline bus.
Sa totoo lang, Francis, when I came to the US, when they told me I need to take English as a second language, I was confused. I would go, but I was learning both of them at the same time. It's not a second language for me because I already know I grew up doing English and Tagalog at the same time. Ang problema lang, but you're right. The way I speak back when I first started, when I came here, was academic. I speak like I'm reading a book.
Right, exactly.
Until my end.
I completely agree.
Did you guys have an accent? Did you guys have an accent when you guys first? Do you guys know?
Yeah, I did.
The weird thing is I had a British accent. Yep. That was so weird.
Actually, I started off with a British accent too.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Western Samoa first before moving to American Samoa.
Oh, nice.
And so Western Samoa is British influence. So my English was British. But yeah, but
I had an accent. It was called the Batangueño accent.
Oh, you're the Filipino Canadian. Always with the A, right? You're always with the A. Okay, got it.
No, my English accent was like a hybrid of like Bulacan and Batangas, so it was like super slow with the ala in it.
Okay. Nice.
With God in it.
So I gotta share two stories real quick about that. So wait, just like you, Paul, like when I first got here, my English was nobody, like it was like a different level. So my teacher told me to watch TV so I can understand. I read the byline and the mannerism. And then I did that for like 6 to 7 months, and I didn't realize I was actually watching Telemundo. I'm like, oh, but it's okay because I grew up in East LA. I grew up in East LA, so it worked out. So, but and then my second story, Julius. So my sister married a Batangueño, and when my sister and her two youngest kids finally moved to the United States, my youngest nephew, his name is Kiko. Still Batangueño, still, and then again he had to speak Tagalog at home. But one day he was like 5 years old. We were playing and then also he goes, "Dinong, gusto ko ng babae." What? And I'm like, all I could see was my mom would never believe me that I never taught him that. Like she was like, what are you teaching your nephew? And I'm like, and that's when my mom's really mad when her Filipino accent comes out. What are you teaching your what are you teaching my apo? And I'm like, Kiko, what did you say? Gusto ko ng babae. I'm like, oh my God. And I go, why? Because gutom na ako.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. But it turns out he wants to go downstairs.
I want to go sa babae.
I'm like, I almost had a heart attack. I I almost had a heart attack. And I'm like, oh my God, nobody was going to believe me that I didn't teach him that. Like, I don't even believe me that I didn't teach him that. Right?
I don't believe you and you're telling me the
I
story.
know. It's so weird.
Francis, sabi mo, laki ka sa, sa East LA nang pupunta ka dito. Matagal
Yeah,
kong jowa
yeah.
dyan sa Ball Heights dati. Saan ka sa East LA? Nakatira dati.
Like off the 101 freeway by Vermont, there's a red big church there by the CHP police station.
Right before Temple, right before historic
Yes.
Filipino town.
Yes, exactly.
I grew up there
exactly.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up there till I was 13. Then we moved to Orange County.
Ganon din ang
and
storya
then-
ng pamilya ko. Where in
Wow.
Orange County did you move? We were very similar
to
background.
Hold on, where are you from? Let me ask you before I answer.
Labasan ng mga gang signs.
Where are you from? Right?
Where are you from?
Where are you from? Right. I'm from we moved to Buena Park. We moved to Buena Park, California. So
That's cool. That's good. We're very
Yeah.
similar upbringing. That's good.
Well,
Well,
just
you know
to
what's
share,
so hard? Hold on, but you know what's so
Yeah.
hard? It's like you're in a room full of Eskrimadors, Filipino martial artists, and you ask them like, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Taguig," or I'm from the fish market. I'm from Tondo. They all
Yeah.
have this rough part, and then when it came to you, where'd you grow up? Orange County. It's like it doesn't carry
doesn't
the
ring-
same
yeah,
like
correct.
badassery.
You got
So I started.
you got to add a little bit
started
of flavor to
telling
that
people-
Orange County beat.
I started telling people I grew up in South Central Anaheim. So
There you
it
go.
sounded more street.
But in your
By the
defense,
convention
Francis,
center.
but in your defense, Francis, probably very similar story to my parents. My parents like yours. Kaya tayo umalis doon kasi ayaw ng magulang natin ma-involve tayo sa gang.
Well, that was the weird part was, and I'm very blessed by this actually. Yes, my parents had the same notion, but they also wanted to start their own business, and they actually started with a boarding care facility in Buena Park. That's why my parents moved there. But the local gangs in the area, a lot of the shot callers there were my friends, and they actually gave an order to their entire crew not to jump me in. I was not allowed to be jumped in. So it's like I couldn't join a gang even if I wanted to. The gang wasn't allowing me.
Well, when you came, because you were a exit away from, you remember the movie Training Day, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
King Kong got nothing on me.
Yeah, but that was basically like in that area they based it off of
Yes.
Officer Perez, right?
Yep.
A lot of the people that he put in jail were the Filipino kids from that, like the exit after you. So did you grow up with some of them?
I did. But in my area, it's mostly Latinos, Hispanics, right?
Right.
But yeah, I still grew up with some of them. The Hellside Satanas and everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, but
Brian Rodriguez just chimed in. Born in Baclaran Barangay, raised in Irvine. Laughing my ass
Yeah.
off.
Oh, that's even worse. That's South OC, man. That's where the rich people live. I live in the poor OC. You live in the rich OC.
I think you could just like finish it Baclaran, but at the same thing, no, but I'm Baclaran. Which speaking of, just as I'm touching on that, let's not forget that we got guys on there. So let's just say hello to a couple of different.
Hey everybody. Hello
Let's
everybody.
see, Richard Pac-Man, hello from Kansas.
Richard.
Richard Pac, most Philams born here can't speak or understand the language. Props to those who came here young and retained the mother tongue. Thank you. Chris Chu, hey guys from Orlando, mad love and respect.
What's up, Chris?
Jesse Santiago, Jun and Paul Show is the best. You know, it's
Thanks, Jesse.
you know, I guess FMA Pulse is almost there.
Just keep chugging away, man. One day you're gonna get
to where
10
we're at.
subscribers. You're gonna get 10 subscribers, and you're gonna blow up, bro. You're gonna blow up, Jesse.
Much love,
I
Jesse.
believe in you. I believe in you, Jesse. I believe in you.
Malalagot tayo, Kuya Jun, Kuya Paul. Wala pang 6 na minuto, gang na pa yung
Exactly.
Then
Exactly.
we got Brian Rodriguez over there, and then you got STS from Temple. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's right. Temple Street. Yeah.
yeah. So all right. Well, by the way, I'll chime in every so often for comments. So if I start all of a sudden just stop the flow, that's because I just want to get some of these good comments while they're like
Sure.
within the moment. And then
So when you insert yourself, just be gentle.
yeah, so basically, there was a safe word that we were using. What was the one that Julia
Vaseline.
chose?
Vaseline. Vaseline. No.
I thought it was
Vicks.
Vicks.
Vicks vapor rub.
Vicks
Vicks vapor rub.
Vicks vapor rub.
Exactly.
Just for
This podcast is brought to you by Vicks.
Vicks vapor. Just so everybody knows, you know, we were like thinking of what's a safe word, password, or something in case anything gets out of hand. So
out of hand. Yep.
So
yeah, it got out of hand the moment we say, "Hey, everybody." So that was it. It went.
So if you hear the word, I guess Vicks is what we're going with for tonight.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then all of a sudden see the change in tempo or change of dialogue. You know what happened? We just change the channel.
Yeah, exactly. We change the channel. Change the channel.
All right. Now, let's see. Oh, Jesse over here is trying to throw shade at me. He's like, "Oh, Paul finally got a microphone."
It's a fancy one too. You got a Shuri, right? You got a Shuri?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he stole it off a call center somewhere.
So yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. So, oh man.
All right. Back on track here. Let's
back
get
on track.
Let's get to know Guro Francis here.
Sure.
First of all, you come from a lot of different things from what I know. I mean, we could go to the Arnis side, but did you guys know? I want to start off with the documentary.
Yes.
You were on. I mean, we'll just touch up on a little bit because I know you kind of mentioned it on.
No, it's fine.
Different things, but you were on National Geographic.
I was. They were filming me in my natural habitat. You know, and they're like, "Crikey, look at him! You know, look how he loves." I'm like, "No." Rest in peace.
Sino ano narito si Atin Boro?
Exactly.
Look at him.
Look at him. He loves it.
Yeah.
You know, so,
but you were National
the way
Geographic
he eats his
and
adobo.
Yeah.
You
were National Geographic and
yeah. So I was in National Geographic. They approached me around 2005. 2005. Basically, I was looking into getting the gastric bypass surgery, and I was able to connect with a doctor. I can't say his name, but to a doctor that is the only one at the time was willing to do the gastric bypass surgery laparoscopically. Everybody else did it open surgery, which was like recovery time was anywhere between 4 to 6 months, but laparoscopically we're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks. So dramatically less, because it's less invasive. So I found the doctor, but then the doctor was only willing to do the surgery if I lost more weight, And I said, "Bro, if I could lose weight, I wouldn't need you, So I'm like. But then about a few weeks later, one of his, I believe his nurses called me saying that the doctor wanted to talk to me and they have this idea. And apparently National Geographic approached the doctor asking him if they can follow around a patient going to the gastric bypass surgery. And now at the time, if you ever see any of those type of shows, it's always some person who's kind of who lives like a hermit life because they've been ostracized by society because of their size. But the nurses suggested me because I was always very, very energetic, very, very personable. I'm flirting with the nurses, that's why. I'm not, and then so they recommended me, and then I met with the show's producers. They loved me, and then that's how I got in that show. They followed me around for about 2 weeks. They wanted to see my life. Their take was they didn't want somebody to get the surgery and then start their life. They wanted when they met me, they realized that I already was living my life, but I just want to live a healthier life. So that's what happened.
Now, what were you actively training or teaching at that time?
I wasn't teaching yet. I was actively training. In fact, there was a portion in the show where I was doing FMA. And ironically enough, 2 years ago, there was a woman that contacted me asking me if she could join the program. And one of my questions is always like, what inspired you to do FMA? And she said, well, I saw this TV show about this guy who went the gastric surgery. I'm like,
That was me.
That was it.
You want
And
my
I'm like-
autograph?
and I'm like, no. So and then it's just like, if he can do it, I mean, I think I can. And I'm like, wow, okay.
Wow.
You want to hear
that's-
something wild? And she goes, what? I'm that guy. And she just started screaming like, oh my God, right? So yeah,
Damn. That's
I mean,
that's impressive.
that was pretty weird. Yeah. So
that is
but
impressively weird. But
yeah,
awesome.
but I mean, ever since that show aired, I was getting a lot of emails. I was getting a lot of marriage proposals, right? And I'm like, this one lady, she said that she believes that we were destined to be together, right? Because she said that and then she believes me and her son will get along because
So,
his
so
son
the
is
real,
half.
the real question: how
Sure.
many hookup did you get?
What?
What are
What?
you talking about?
What?
That's Vaseline,
What?
Vicks. No, no.
Vicks,
Okay, go ahead,
Vicks,
go ahead.
Vicks.
No,
Mang
Vicks,
Tomas,
no,
Mang
no, no.
Tomas.
Bail.
Banana ketchup.
Okay.
You friend.
Yeah.
No, the weird thing was, like I said, that lady was saying that she believes she and I are destined to be together because she said that her son is half Mexican and I'm Mexican. And I'm like,
Wrong destiny.
Wrong
I'm
destiny.
like, the whole show kept saying this Filipino American man, and I'm like, how much weight did I lose that I became Mexican? Like, I don't think that. So yeah, I got some of those, and just to be very clear on the record, there was never any hookup because of those shows. So
Yes.
Wag ka defensive,
Wink, wink.
nakahalata ka.
Right, there was never
Nakahalata ka
any
pag defensive ka.
it was a real relationship. That's why, and so no, I didn't do those things.
So for the
Oh,
But yeah,
folks who
I mean-
doesn't understand, it's kunwari lang.
Kunwari lang, yes.
Kunwari wala.
No, I'm a good boy, So, but yeah, no. So I got a lot of marriage proposals. I'm like, just send me your bank statement, and we'll get married, right? So, I mean, I'm like, I'm not,
Wow.
hey, everybody needs love,
Yeah. So are you married now, single,
No, I'm not married. I don't think I have any children.
transgender?
Walang yato, man. Vicks.
Hey, listen. If they're rich, I'll be whatever they want me to be. Okay. No, I'm not married. Like I said, I don't think I have any children. So I just, but weirdly enough, all my exes are married. So, and I feel bad for them.
You want to rephrase that? Your exes are now married.
Yeah,
You
no,
mean
they're all
your
married.
exes are
Yeah.
married when you were dating them?
No, they were.
That's what I was like. I was like, damn.
Damn, boy. We're getting in trouble.
Hey,
Big
Paul,
in
things.
trouble.
JB, you
We're
guys
getting
need
in
to get
trouble.
onto National Geographic really fast.
I know, right? That's why.
I
Those are
know.
the kind of women you get in the National Geographic, the wild ones. So, no. So all my exes are now married, but I
Now
just feel
married. There
bad
you
for
go.
them. Yeah, I just feel bad for them. So, because all their kids are ugly. I mean, if they stayed with me, their kids would have been good looking. But oh well.
Oh,
Sucks to be
Oh,
them,
well.
right?
All right. All right. Well, no, yeah, just a little bit of
that is an
stuff.
awesome story, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I'm sorry. I mean, seriousness. On all seriousness, when I was approached to do that show, I had a really good job that was willing to pay for my surgery. The insurance was willing to pay for the surgery 100%, including whatever deductible I needed to pay. Right. When I was approaching that show, they were offering to pay for my surgery. I said, nah, it's all good. I got the insurance paying for it. Right. And then they did offer me some sort of compensation. I said, no, I didn't want to do it for the money. I specifically did this because I wanted to inspire people who are of size like myself, that they can start living their life now, not wait till they get the surgery or where they start to lose weight. They can put value into their lives right now. And that's why I did it. So I never got a single dime off of that show. I never got, compensated or anything like that. And that was by design. I didn't want to get paid. I just wanted to help.
I agree with you because most people they wait until there's something serious that happens in their life
Yep. Before
before they decided to do something about it. Good job for you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me quick check here. Let me make sure that we are recording. I was like,
I can see it. I can see it playing.
Okay, no, and by the way, while I for everybody out there, make sure you click on that subscribe button, because we're gonna have a pretty big lineup of freaking awesome people here.
Yes.
In the next few episodes. Almost every week we've got someone power hitters and stuff and whatnot within the community, so it's going to be exciting. And then of course we're starting off with the biggest thing that ever happened in FMA here, so all right, so yeah, make sure to subscribe, follow the whole thing. Bigboy Eskrimador in the house, which speaking of, so I actually thought Bigboy Eskrimador was a company name, and he kept telling me, dude, I am Bigboy Eskrimador. I was like, yeah, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know you are, but and then I kept going back and forth, and it finally clicked that I was like, oh, it's a name, not a company.
Right. But now I'm thinking maybe I should.
Yeah, you know what? There you go.
Yeah, before somebody make that a fictitious name and LLC.
I know.
Then you're gonna have
I
to
know.
the bigger boy Eskrimador.
The bigger boy Eskrimador, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
The bigger boy Eskrimador.
Right.
Now speaking of that, though, speaking of companies, one of the things that I saw from when we were first interacting years back was you also did something with graffiti or art or something and whatnot.
Yeah,
what was that all about?
Growing up, I always loved street art. I've always loved graffiti art, and so I started dabbling in it, right? I had a lot of friends who were taggers, and a lot of them are just extremely talented street artists, and I just started to emulate them. And then of course that was junior high. Then high school, my life got exponentially busier, and then college, and then adulthood got away from me. And then it's one of those things that you always tell yourself, like, hey, I'm going to do this again when I have time. I'm going to do this again when I have time. And then the pandemic happened. I'm like, oh, now I have time, right?
Now you have plenty of time.
Exactly. And then now that we have iPad Pros with Apple Pencils and all that stuff, I started getting back into it. So I started watching this one guy named Simon D. He's an amazing artist, and I just started experimenting and started drawing again. And then a lot of people actually really liked it. So people were asking me, hey, can I pay you to draw me something? Can I pay you to draw me something? And I still didn't feel right to get paid for it. So what I would ask people to do is, if they make a minimum of a $10 donation to any nonprofit that they believe in, and I'll be more than happy to draw them something. So that's what I did. So it was a way for me to keep myself sharp and relearn a skill that I wasn't able to do for many years. And I just fell in love with it again. And so at that time I was really heavy into collecting watches. So, but then I also, I started doing my street art. So I started calling myself Relo Ghetto, right? Relo meaning watch, ghetto meaning, so Relo Ghetto. So I just started doing that, and I just had fun with it, and I still have fun with it, yeah, people are just people. I just hope that people enjoy them.
Okay.
So.
And then so usually when you're tagging and stuff or whatnot, or I guess that there's an artistic streak on there. Do you you draw and do other arts or anything too in terms of skills
besides martial arts?
Besides martial arts, that's why I have to how do I divert through that?
Yeah, no. I'm actually a classically trained tenor. So I used to do a lot of musicals. I used to do a lot of shows when I was growing up. And I used to do performances all over the place. So yeah.
Teka muna, 3 tenors. Magpaparote ka, pasbukan mo kami.
Paul is
sample
on mute. But,
yeah, no.
Yeah, but yeah, all right. We're here for the first time on the Jun and Paul Show. We're gonna have a live,
tenor
feelings. Nothing more than feelings. No. Yeah, no, I mean, hey, when I come out there, karaoke night. We'll slay it, man. We'll slay it. So
yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
so,
just full disclosure, I've already met Francis. I can't believe
Yes,
that was
we
a
have
year
met.
ago, man.
I know, right? With Jesse. So yeah.
Who's Jesse?
Who's
Is that
Jesse?
the guy that's like trying to
The guy with the 8 subscribers. The guys with the 8 subscribers.
Yeah.
And then you know what? I mean, let's check those 8. I think 3 of those is his mom. So it's just like that's how much his mom loves him. You know, I'll make 3 accounts and I'll follow you.
I will
3
follow
times.
you all the way.
I'll follow you.
You want me
And
to
if you don't
watch your
listen, I will
show?
follow you. I will follow you. You know, so
I will
So-
follow you.
yeah, I will follow you. You know, but yeah, no, I mean, so I used to do that. I used to do stand-up comedy, right?
Hey.
Yeah. So there was
Hey,
actually a contest here.
Dang,
So give
There
us a
was a
little,
contest.
a little joke.
let's tell a joke.
Why
Knock,
does
knock.
everybody want? See, this is what's up with Filipinos. Always want free samples.
Yeah,
All right,
you
always
have-
free samples.
Yeah,
What am
oh
I,
my God.
Costco?
I know,
I'm not
right?
giving you samples, man. Pay for no. So there was actually a
Damn.
contest in Orange County where they were looking for the best amateur comedian, right? And I took first place. So
Oh.
I was like, yeah. I mean, there was only 2 of us. So the other guy didn't speak English, so it made it easy. So here's one of my jokes. So do you guys ever see that movie Alive?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you don't know, it's about this plane that crashes in the Himalayas, and in
Mhm.
order for the people who survived to survive, they had to eat the people that didn't survive,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when I saw that movie for the first time, I was on an airplane. I'm like, why the hell are they showing this movie on an airplane? This is like not the right movie. But what was worse was as soon as the movie was over, everybody was looking at me. Right? I'm like, they're like, we can live off this guy 6-7 months easy. You know? So they started coming
He's like,
over.
I'm looking for that
giving
guy.
I know. They're unbuckling my seatbelt. I'm like, what are you doing? Right?
Come here.
They're giving me
Sit
they're
right here.
putting bread and they're massaging me, right? They're like, oh, we're gonna tenderize the meat, you know, we're gonna tenderize. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus. Oh yeah, no, I'm like, never flying Spirit Airlines ever again. So
there it is. Man, so you did a singing. Did you do use performances and everything too?
yes, I used to perform. I used to I would sing at weddings. You know, people would ask me to sing at weddings, and people would ask me to sing at funerals. Ironically, I sing the same song for both wedding and funeral. Please release me, let me
There we
go.
go.
No, that's terrible. That's
Hey, it actually fits.
Yeah.
It fits.
And
Yeah,
man,
no, it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, so that's, and then I've done, like I said, I've done musicals. I've done, Annie.
Pretty cool.
I was not Annie. I was the radio announcer. I did Sound of Music. I played the German guy. Yeah, because, I
Oh.
look so German, right? So, and,
you nailed it.
I nailed it. So, I did, Man of La Mancha. I played Padre. I did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So, and in every one of those shows, I believe, if I remember correctly, I had a solo. So, and yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I mean, because
That's-
I was one of the few tenors that actually not only can I sing a wide range of high notes, but I can project my voice very well. So it's so funny because like every sound check, you're supposed to sing your song that you sing at the show so that the sound engineer can put you at the right level, right? Well, my level was always 0, right? So every time it was my turn to do a song so that the sound engineer can adjust the levels, I would just pick random songs that's not in the show. Like, you got what I need. And you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, right? So yeah, so it was, and then there was another guy that followed me, and he started singing another song that wasn't in the show, and the sound engineer goes, "What the hell are you doing?" He goes, "What?" He goes, "Is that the song you sing at the show?" No.
So-
Then why are you singing it? But Francis, he goes, "Are you Francis? You're not."
Hey,
I'm like,
were you on
sucks to be-
National Geographic? No.
I know exactly. No, right? No. Were you at the Jun and Paul with JB show? No,
Absolutely.
no. Right.
So, and then stand up. How long ago was this on the stand up? That's pretty cool.
Bro, that's like before YouTube, So
Oh.
I'm like, that's why if you Google me, it's not popping up. I only did like 1 or 2 shows. Out of every performance I ever done in my life, stand up is the scariest.
Yeah,
because it's just you, the mic, and the audience. That's it. So it's either they really love you or they really hate you. There's no in between.
What made you want to go down that route, or give it a go? Because it's actually cool.
Well, I mean, I like to think I'm funny, right? I like to think that I have a story that I can tell, and people pretty much relate with it. So, and it was something that was very scary for me. So I pushed myself to do it. So I did it once or twice, and I'm like, cool. And I told myself again, I'll get back into it, but I never really quite did. But you never know. I might go back to it now that Jokoy is making it easier for us Pinoys.
I saw him live, man. He was incredible. I saw him in Anaheim.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. No, I think he's amazing. But my favorite Filipino comedian of all time is Tito Boy, Rex Navarrete.
Yeah.
He's still the man. He's still the man. I saw him about a year ago live here in Ontario, and he recognized who I was. He's like, oh, how's your FMA? Did you know he also trained in Serrada?
Yeah. He doesn't he do Balintawak and Serrada?
I don't know about Balintawak, right? But I knew about Serrada. Yeah.
Oh, we're in FMA now.
No, what I'm just saying.
Just like that, we're in FMA.
Just like audience.
Just like that, we're back in FMA. Yeah, so I did the stand up, and it was scary. I did it twice, and I'm like, good. I'm not looking forward to it, but you never know. I might do it again. So.
Yeah. No, that's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
The other thing that man, a lot of like cards on under the sleeve there. Now, the other thing is you were also one of the earlier starters of probably with a media company, kind of very early on. You were, when YouTube was coming up and stuff, didn't you have your own media company?
Not really. Not really when it first started, but I was somewhere, I started 413 Media Group, right? And that was really, it was me doing some, because I'm also a marketing consultant. So what happened to Paul?
Yeah, he just turned into fire. He's like a phoenix.
I know, exactly.
He'll rise out of the ashes. Watch his picture. He's like, woof. I
know, exactly.
May sinisindihan. Nagsisindi ng apoy.
Okay. So I started 413 Media Group was a way for me to promote my events and whatnot. So then we had a crackpot dynamite team that was just making kick-ass videos, but then my director, my videographer, he decided to graduate from college and do other things. I'm like, what?
What the
You don't
heck?
want to do this for free for the rest of your life? Are you kidding me?
Like chasing a dream or something? What the hell?
Exactly. Like, what? You went to school to learn something? That's just crazy talk, right?
What is this whole embetterment of your life thing?
Exactly. I know. So no, that's so. Yeah. So no, I was very, very proud, and I still own that channel, the 413 Media Group, and so ironically enough, a friend of mine, I'm not going to mention his name, Alvin Albano, contacted me, and because he started like with his 2 buddies, their own kind of like group, and they called it 415 something, and 415 is the area code in San Francisco Bay Area, right? Mm-hmm. So he contacted me. He goes, "Hey Francis, why'd you call yourself 413? That's not your area code." I'm like, "What am I, a ludicrous song? I mean area codes, right?" And well, for those who don't know that reference, ludicrous, right? So about area codes. Anyway,
Just kidding.
No. So the reason why I called my company 413 Media Group was when me and my former business partner were trying to come up with a name for the company. He wanted to name it something like Filipino something, right? Because we are both Filipinos, and I said no, because they make it sound like we only cater to Filipinos, right? And I'm not racist. I'll take everybody's money. So we were and then he knew I was a devout Christian. I am not based on this show, but I'm a devout Christian. So he wanted to name something like about my faith, and I said no, I don't trust companies that says ilovejesus.com, right? Because your face should be shown through your actions, not by your name, right? So, but I prayed about it, and then I remembered that the etymology of Philippines is from King Philip II of Spain, and the etymology of Philip is based on Philippines, right? And Philippians chapter 4, verse 13 is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that's why I named my company 413 Media Group. So it's a way for me to honor my faith and my culture without being in your face about it. So hence the name.
That's okay. So that's the history. Yeah, I mean, you are. I mean, from if anybody follows Francis here on Instagram and stuff, there's like all these things that fly out about different portions of media groups and interests and everything. That's I was like, man, there's a lot.
I know.
There's a lot more behind the scenes from this guy than just FMA. So
I know. It's not all just good looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
May laman dito. May laman din po ito.
There you go.
It rattles around my head.
Yeah.
But so that's where I came up with that name. So I'm right now I have so many things in the that's cooking. FMA school, WAKWAK, MNGI. I'm about to start another production company with one of my other students. And I still have. I do plan on going back to seminary school. So it's just there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air. That's just kind of juggling. So
And just for clarification, hindi yung wakwak na aswang. Wakwak as in like whack, right?
No, actually, no. It is because of the
Kasi
aswang.
gagawin kang wakwak pagtapos ng
Exactly.
yan, wakwak ka na.
Exactly. So I was when I was trying to come up with a name for the padded steak company, right? I just somehow, and I truly believe this is divine intervention. This is the Lord talking to me. Somehow something told me to go to Google Filipino mythical creatures. I swear to you, that's how it felt like. And I was just scrolling through them.
Came up with his mythical creatures.
Yeah. So I ran it. One of them was WAKWAK. And I'm like, oh dang! And then one of the things that like Kuya Doug was telling me that name a company that even non-Filipinos can read, right? So when people like what Julius was saying, when they read WAKWAK, it sounds like we're whacking people with a stick, right? But it's still very Filipino because of the WAKWAK, right? Yeah. So that's why the company's called WAKWAK, because it's a way for people in different language can be able to understand. Yeah. Like all the language I speak, Australian, British, and New Zealand, and American English. So yeah, they could all understand it.
Jesse just came out and says he's gonna use WAKWAK, but
WAKWAK, yes.
But
don't do it.
But if you read it in English, it's wag, but I don't know what he'd be wagging, so I ain't gonna touch that. Jesse, Yeah.
It was so funny.
Jesse is.
It was so funny when I was looking up.
What do you call it?
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I think Jesse is offering free entries to his OnlyFans page with that wag. So hey,
so two things.
Vaseline.
So two things. One, when I was trying to come up with hashtags to promote WAKWAK, I wrote up. Oh, how about whack off? Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. That's not delete. Let's not do that.
Man, I'm getting a lot of hits on my
exactly
hashtag here.
Exactly. And then I did want to start an OnlyFans page during the pandemic, but people were paying me to keep my clothes on. Right? So I'm like, oh, here's $20. Don't take off your shirt. No, don't do it. Yeah. So that was gonna be my OnlyFans.
There you go. All right, so yeah, I ain't gonna. I was like, I'm gonna read what Brian.
You gotta.
But then I was like, well, Paul just blurted it out.
Yeah. You gotta read that American style. Sal.
Sal suka. Right.
Oh, my innocent ears.
So you can actually combine Jesse and Brian's names. WAKWAK Sal.
Now we're
just be gentle.
And then you're gonna get WAKWAK.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, this is a good time to just transition to the next part.
Transition, correct.
Before,
Sure.
before I have to like call Vix on here and like, okay, guys, password, safe word, safe word.
Safe word, safe word,
Oh,
safe word.
man. But as we're transitioning again, everybody, just a quick reminder, please hit that subscribe button. Or what's the best marketing method or madness of saying subscribe there, Francis?
Again, another free sample. Like what the? I'm not Costco.
I'm trying to get you to
Okay,
sell
I
it.
don't free samples, right?
Yeah, but anyway, yeah,
Right,
click
right.
subscribe there. And get notified for all future episodes, which is gonna be a lot of badassery. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
That's all I gotta say.
Exactly.
All right, so now we go from that to I guess we're gonna transition to FMA because you kind of transitioned there earlier too.
Sure.
No, actually, FMA / I do want to talk a little bit more about your padded 6, which
Sure.
anybody didn't know, catch it because we were all making all kinds of different kind of connotations there. But
Right.
is it WAKWAK or WAKWAK?
It's pronounced like the.
How would you pronounce it?
I pronounce it Filipino style. WAKWAK.
WAKWAK. Yeah.
WAKWAK, right? And the reason why that mythical creature's name WAKWAK is because of the sound that its wings make. Wak wak, right? So it's pronounced WAKWAK. But honestly, again, for my non-Filipino speaking friends and family, they're WAKWAK is also correct, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a mythical creature. It's not real. You can pronounce it any way you want.
Not just to clarify, everybody, for everybody watching, not that Guro Francis is selling mythical creatures. It's a padded stick. Just want to clarify.
Hey, you know what? Maybe there's a market for that. Maybe there's a market.
Mythical creatures market.
My bano usapan, I can't help but notice, like, you got a drum there. Are you like a resident Elvin Jones too? You got drumsticks?
No. So I also teach online classes. I do an online course, and then so when I have to show some six demonstration, having a 28-inch stick, doing this looks weird.
Yeah.
So I use a drumstick just so that people can see what I'm doing, and it keeps my hands occupied. So
yeah, there you go.
I wish I was a drummer. So
Yeah.
I just don't. I Gloria Estefan was wrong. The rhythm never caught me. So
yeah, boom. Do you have any of the WAKWAK sticks there?
no, that's why I'm just killing myself a little bit. I forgot. I forgot,
Man.
but I know.
So for everybody watching, he's got what's the website? At least give him the website.
Sure, it's wakwak.store. So WAKWAK.store.
.store, not .com.
Right. So, and if you guys after the show, if you guys want to get some of the WAKWAK, and if you want to get a 10% discount, right? Just put Vicks. No, I'm just kidding. Don't use Vicks. Yeah, I'm gonna make the June Paul Julius. So I'll say JJP10. So JJP10, and then you get 10% off every one of the products.
Yeah. And we'd like to
After
thank
the show,
sponsors.
I have to make it
I
so.
would like to thank our
June,
sponsors.
can't you like do like a screen share if I put that on the chat right now?
You know what?
Or no?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm too.
Oh, great! Now I got to make the code now.
All right, no, that I shared the website on our chat feature.
No. But how do I share screen? Where's my? Oh, yeah, there it is. My bad.
Somebody
It's
ask your
right-
kid. Go ask your kids and how to help you.
Hold on. I'm gonna end up. Oh shoot! I'm gonna.
Like that.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
Yeah, like that. You're doing
There
it.
you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Walk that store.
That's the website, guys. Right there.
That is the website.
Yeah. Who's that guy on the left?
Who's
Who's
this
the guy?
dude?
He's
Should we play that video? We'll play that video, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
actually,
go
let's
ahead,
play
go
that video.
ahead, go
Let's
ahead.
play
Go
that
ahead,
video.
play the video.
Oh,
Dude, can you get
No
a
sound.
faster internet? Dude, what the heck? Is this dial-up?
yeah. What? It ain't working.
Yeah, it's you got to turn up the volume.
Yep. So that's reminds me back in the HBO days and stuff, and you're not subscribed to HBO, that's kind of what comes out. Yeah, so those are when did this come out?
We actually
That's brand new.
officially,
Yeah.
we officially
video, the
opened,
video.
the video. No, but WAKWAK officially started about 3 months ago,
All right.
right? So we were still working on a lot of different things. But yeah, it was there.
You want to,
So
Julius? It's not. You want to take it off so that put us back on. There you go. That was actually that was pretty cool to actually see that. It was
so okay. So I just made the coupon right now. It's JJP10, and anybody who purchases anything off the website, if you use that code, you'll get 10% off your purchase.
yeah. There you guys go.
There
Damn.
you go. Dang.
I'm sorry, I had too many windows open.
Oh, no worries.
There was a different whack going on. In
Why? I know.
window.
Like, also, there was like horse hub. What's horse hub? Right?
Bow, bow.
Exactly. What the heck is horse hub? I'm
Oh,
like, well, see, this kid a
So
whole different movie for you.
I got a question because you look in the back. Basically that's a professional studio setup. You guys rented a studio?
No, we didn't.
Because
And
look, you had because I've done indies before. You had so many different bounces. Where'd you guys shoot that at?
So I can't really talk about it because I signed an NDA, but I did not. I can say this: I did not rent any space. So,
Yeah,
Push my fire.
fancy. So hold on a second. You're National
kidding.
Geographic and
I
History
don't
Channel
know.
2. Hot dang.
I don't know. I don't have to tell y'all. Just that's how I roll. That's how I roll.
This is like Vicks.
Mix.
Help me out.
Oh, exactly.
Anyway,
So,
but so no, that's cool. Freaking congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That release and stuff.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
we started
everybody-
we started the padded steak company because we wanted to, in what's in the market right now. We felt that we could come up with something better,
Mhm.
right? And so a lot of so one of the big differences, it's like we just did a tournament back in June, and it was using various different helmets. So it wasn't just a plastic cover; it was also the WAKWAK GSPA one, where it's a metal,
Mhm.
and then some people also wear fencing mesh, which is that metal mesh, right? Normally they don't allow those because it would break the sticks, but ours would stood up to it. So at the end of the tournament, we only broke 2 sticks, and one of them broke because the guy snaked the stick and twisted out into it, so it
Oh.
snapped it. So
Yeah.
it wasn't because of a structure; it was just the guy what he did to it. And then we went to Stockton a couple of weeks ago, where we sponsored that tournament, and we only broke 1 stick, and it broke at the very last fight of the day.
Wow.
So
That's
so,
impressive because I've gone through my share of broken sticks, on those cage.
yeah. So I mean, so in many of the current padded sticks that's out there, they don't want you using anything outside of the plastic
Yeah.
face cover because it just can't withstand it. But ours, thankfully,
Nice.
are holding up. So
Well, when I make it down to California, I'm curious to see where check out the
Sure.
stuff,
of course, you're always welcome to.
got all different sizes there, 26, 28, 30s.
No, just right now we're still at the 28-inch because we wanted to slowly, Vaseline into the market, right?
To the market.
and,
Yes.
So no, but we wanted, right now the most common stick size for most Filipino martial arts is 28-inch, right?
Right.
So we just wanted to go into that. We didn't want to have, me and my business partner David, we just wanted to play it smart, test the market, test the waters, and then we don't want to have like a huge inventory of things that are not going to move, right? So, but we're listening to the market. The market is telling us that they want us to have a 10-inch one for little kids. So we're in development for that, and we're starting to sell padded edge weapons, right? So we're selling those now. I just haven't had a chance to put it on the website yet. So we're doing those as well. So we're slowly generating into the market. Ironically, when we were picking colors, I wanted something very bright. So we also added yellow and orange, and those are selling out. Like we're out of yellows, by the way. We are out of yellows, and orange is going out really quickly. So we're ordering some more. And just so you all know, all our padded sticks are made in the Philippines. And the people who are making it are also Eskrimadors. So
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
that's-
your own children.
no.
I'm just kidding.
So
I'm
wrong.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. It's
No,
not. No,
that's
it's
awesome,
not.
dude. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. So for everybody again, to get those padded sticks, the WAKWAK padded sticks, it's WAKWAK
Dot store.
dot store.
No, not dash. Dot store.
WAKWAK
And then again,
dot store.
right.
So-
And then if you want that 10% discount, just type in JJP10. You'll get 10% off.
That's
Yeah,
JJP
JJP10.
Jun Paul. So we're
Right.
all in there. 10 and you get 10% off on that.
10%
Awesome.
off. Yes.
Awesome. So that's a good transition into the next component that we have
Sure.
here on the list of things. You have an FMA school and have been teaching.
I do.
And you are a championship school too.
Yes. I like to think so. So so here's my story and how I became a Filipino martial arts instructor. So in 2008, I decided to move back to the Philippines. I was going to go get my bachelor's degree and then get my master's in divinity, go to seminary school. And because of my denomination didn't really care where I got my master's in divinity, I decided to go back home to the Philippines. Very many, benefits of that. One, it's cheaper. Two, I wanted to start my ministry in the Nanay land, in the motherland, right?
Yep.
And number three, and this was very important, I wanted the opportunity to train FMA in the Philippines, right? So when I moved to Manila, I contacted, Supreme Grandmaster Dion, the late Supreme Grandmaster Dion Cañete in Cebu. And I asked him, SGM, is there anybody that teaches the 12 Pars multi-style here in Manila? And here's his response. Oh, yeah, there's only one that teaches the multi-style in Manila, right? That's exactly how he sounded. And then he said, and so I told him, I'm like, oh, that's amazing, sir. Who is this person? I'll go there right now. And then here's what he said. That's you. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, you teach already. Right. And I contacted Master Sunny Napial, who is my direct head instructor. And he goes, I guess you're teaching now, Francis.
Yeah.
So I started teaching, and the church that I was attending was across the street from Luneta Park, and they allowed me to use a space that was like, I would say like 5,000 square feet, right, of space, and they allowed me to use it for free.
Wow.
So
that's a nice space.
So that's a huge space, especially has a roof. So, it rains a lot in the Philippines. So if it rains, you're not training, but now I could train no matter what, right?
Dang.
So it got to the point where I was making enough money teaching that I was about to ask my family to stop sending me money to live in the Philippines. So but then about 9 months later, I moved back to the US. And my mom, I still wanted to get my bachelor's degree, and my family, my mom especially, told me that they will pay for my education, and they don't want me to go to work. They want me to focus on school. So I did that, but then I still wanted some pocket money. If I wanted to go to the movies, I'm not going to ask my mom for movie money. So I started continue teaching. So teaching made me fall in love with FMA all over again. I kind of found my space, like where what is my part within the FMA community to contribute back into the FMA community, which was teaching. And I just fell in love with it. And that was back in 2008. So that was 15 years ago. I'm still teaching, and I love it. So
wow. And then now you're at California, and you've got to tell me about your the championships that was there and
Sure. So I come from so my branch of school is Visayan Legacy Association, and Visayan Legacy Association, we're a small group. We only have a few chapters, right? We have one Riverside where I'm at, and then we have one in Torrance, we have one in Signal Hill, in Oxnard and Northern California, and now we have one in Bellevue, Washington, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every chapter of Visayan Legacy has at least one world champion, right? My immediate teacher, Guru Henry Cabillion, he's a 19-time world champion. right? For both WAKWAK and GSBA, right? And then in my school, my own personal school, we have 3 world champions. And we are the only school in Riverside County, as well as Inland Empire, that has a world champion, let alone 3. So, and then just to kind of talk about that, when we started with the regional tournament in 2017, I started with 3 fighters. Those 3 fighters made it to the national team, and then those 3 fighters made it to Portugal for the world championship, and all 3 of them came home with gold. So when I'm saying that we're a championship school, I said 3 fighters to go become a world champion, and they all came back as world champions.
There you go.
So, you know, I'm very proud of my boys. I'm very proud of my students. They definitely put pride in me. But you know, I just wish they would remember my name. So, yeah. And during when they were doing the team forms, one of my students forgot my name again. Like he forgot it at the nationals. One other student forgot it at another nationals. But yeah, but they forgot my name. And I'm like, guys, it's not like we don't see each other, I don't know, twice a week, every week for the past, you know, X amount of years, and you forget my name.
Yeah.
So it's just that. But yeah, so I'm very proud of the fact that I come from a championship lineage. You know, like I said, if you have a school that has 1 or 2 world champion, then it could be argued that it's more about the fighter than the program, than the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But if you have a school that every branch has a world champion, then it's not about the fighter, it's about the system, because we can duplicate that process. Now, not everybody can be champions, right? But for those who really want it, there's a roadmap for us to get there.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, that's one of the things I really can hang my hat on, was that we create champions here.
Yeah. Now, what do you think? What do you think is that? What's that journey look like? You know, for those that's kind of like, you know, interested in maybe heading down that path or whatnot. What would be your?
So the one thing I always tell people: everybody wants to be a world champion until they realize how much work they have to put in. Right. And the truth of the matter is, if it was easy, then everybody would be a world champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hard work. My job as their coach is to make their training so hard that the tournament is easy.
Yep.
Right. So, you know, in a standard GSBA, even WAKWAK competition, it's 3 1-minute rounds. Right. So when we train a minimum of 4 months, but I prefer 6 months before a tournament. We start with they have to do cardio, like jump rope and then a bunch of other things. But the clock starts at 2 minutes a round with a minimum of 6 rounds. Right. Mm-hmm. So when they're completely out of shape, they start with 2 minutes already. And by the time that we peaked, they're doing 6 minutes rounds of cardios, 6 minute per round, and about 6 rounds per each by the time they're ready to do the tournament. So by the time they get to the tournament, their energy level is like 6 times more than they need.
Yeah.
Right. So now the most common complaints I get from my students is like, Guro, I thought I thought the tournament was going to be a lot harder.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's because I trained you harder, right? I train you guys. I push you beyond the you need, right? So because ultimately, right, if once you're exhausted, your brain starts to shut down. You stop listening, right? And then you stop thinking because you're so exhausted. So no matter what kind of techniques I show you, if you don't have the gas to be able to do it, you're just not going to be able to compete.
Yeah, no.
So
that's true statement. Yep.
Yeah, and so then I'm also really tough on them, right? So that when they get to the tournament, like when somebody, when they're fighting somebody, they're like, "Oh no, Guro Francis is tougher than this, man. This is nothing," right? But that's the whole idea. The whole idea is that train hard, fight, compete easy.
Fight easy, yeah.
If you train easy, the fight's gonna be hard. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I know. Somebody
Did you?
Yeah, I was having a talk with somebody, and they were like getting ready for a tournament or a fight or something, a match, and they were like, "Hey, what would be a recommendation in terms of like doing FMA?" I said, "You know what? Honestly, at this point, go run, go get your stamina up, get your gas going and stuff. I mean, really, that's where it is. I mean, for the fight that he was going for, it was a FMA match, and because skills wise, most of the guys that are going in there, they have it, maybe a little tweaking here and there, but for the most part, it's it's the gas. Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me put it this way. On the first round in your first match, it fights like this.
Yep.
Then after the second round, like, oh my God. And third round is like, oh my God. You know, you got the inhaler. You know, I'm like, you know, let's just be friends. You know, let's get Korean barbecue. Right? That's how the rounds are usually are. And then you win, then okay, you have another fight. You're like, one more? Yeah. So
Yeah.
again, like I said, everybody wants to be a world champion until it's time for them to put the work in.
Yeah, no,
So-
I competed back in way 2004 and stuff. Laban Laro, they had it in Vegas, and I tell you what, the first round, as you said, ba 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 ba. Second round,
Right.
you know, it's like energy drops, and I've seen matches
Right.
during that tournament where the guys are to hit, you know, they can't like really lift up anymore. So
No,
it's more
their
like
hands are
let
just like
lift the stick up and let gravity
Right.
just hit them
just
down
take over.
with the
Just take
drop.
over. Exactly. Exactly. They I mean, in boxing terms, they punch themselves out.
Yeah, but that's
Julius, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, Francis, I was just curious. You taught in UCR, right?
Yes, I used to teach at UC Riverside before the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Nagkasalisi tayo kasi you came after my time because I went to Riverside like in the early 2000s. I got to meet Dr. DeMars, Rhonda's mom, because they used to train there.
Oh wow. Wow. That's
Train
amazing.
the same judo room. that I
Judo.
used to-
Wow.
Yeah. So the thing
That's
is,
amazing.
so you taught in the actual gymnasium inside, because they typically have electives on Monday, Wednesday, Friday usually.
Well, I don't. I mean, they had it. They had the sports center, or you know, the
That's the
athletic
sports center. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then they have different rooms that has that, and so I taught in one of them. I think room C.
Is that the same room that the Shotokan people use? Because there's a Shotokan.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. So
Yeah.
man.
The
Wow.
Casalisi tayo, you were like, because I went like early 2000s. You were like what, 2010s already when you started teaching?
like the 2010s. Yeah, because I didn't move back to Riverside till 2009. So yeah,
That's long gone.
long gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I train my champions, and now I tell my students, I'm especially my champions, I'm like, nobody can ever take that away from you.
Yeah.
That is 100% yours. That is whatever you go in life, you can walk around saying I'm a champion.
Yep.
I'm a champion, and that kind of feeling is not something that I can give. It has to be earned. It has to be fought for, right? And so I'm just glad that I was part of their journey. I'm just very blessed that I was part of their journey.
Yeah.
So ironically, after when they came home as world champions, we would go out to dinner as the entire school, and all their classmates were like, when it comes time to pay the bill, their class like, no, guys, you guys don't have to pay. You guys are world champions. And so my students were like, oh, thanks. And then like, Guru, here's your bill. Oh, I see.
Guru, whatever your name is, here's your bill.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your share, sir. I'm like, nag-share ka pa sa akin, bastos kayo. Right? So I gave my my champions, I gave them the hardest time. Oh yes, because they became world champions all by themselves. I'm not, all by themselves. So from then on, they were like, can you please stop paying? Like, I'm like, he's like, we'll just pay for your dinner, sir. I'm like, no, it's okay. You're champions. You shouldn't pay for my food.
So Francis, the last tournament that you guys went to, was that the one in the Kamikaze Challenge in Stockton?
Yes, we went. We were there a few weeks ago. Yes.
How'd you guys do?
Not as well as I'd like, right? But we only had like about a month and a half between the two tournaments to prepare for it.
Yeah.
But and this is the God honest truth. I really don't care if my guys win. I really don't. What I care about is that if my students don't quit. As long as they give me 110%, I will be equally as proud of them as if they win or if they lose. Right?
The tournament you had before was Battle of Bayani?
Yes, Battle of the Bayani, yes.
Damn, man, you guys are like, that's a busy schedule, man.
Yes, I know. And then there's we're hoping to host another tournament next April. Okay. So yeah. But then we're also planning to go to the WAKWAK Nationals and the WAKWAK Worlds, which is in Cebu. So we got a lot of things going. So.
Yeah, well, let me just go into the quick chat here and see if there's anybody that's coming in. The only thing I will say is somebody yelled at me because we're not using hashtags daw sa ano natin. to our post. And I'm like, I don't even know how that works, but okay.
Yes.
It's like,
Narzo, Arnold.
pinagalitan na lang ako. Sabi, oy, wala kayong hashtags or something. And I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay.
Let me just say hi to Narzo. Hi, Narzo. I hope one day we get to meet each other. I really would love to meet you one day, but I just, I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just want to say hi. So
Hello, coach.
Damn, we got so many heavy hitters in the comment section. Jun and Paul, hot dang.
Actually, Francis, he's in
Sure.
He's
San Francisco.
in the US.
He's in LA,
yeah, I know he is.
Coach Narzo. So
Coach
Yeah.
Narzo's in LA right now?
yeah,
Yes, he is.
Francis, kailangan mag-ano.
Oh.
Ilibin natin sa Korean.
Hey,
Hey, I can't really comment on that, but yeah, I would love to meet him. I would love to meet him.
yeah.
speaking of, we gotta get, gotta
But
figure gonna be
yeah,
in South Florida too.
yeah. So Francis, that's one thing.
Sure.
One of the topics that I like to talk about, because
Sure.
a lot of people actually compete without having any coach, and
Right.
and I've been telling that to people. You know what? If you want to compete on a high level, you need to have a coach. You need somebody on your side
Absolutely.
teaching you, and that's the only way to do it. And the principle of, well, I already know my technique, I'm very good at it, and fight by yourself, you're not going to go do that far.
Here's what I tell people. If you don't believe you need a coach, that's fine. We'll be more than happy to beat you every single time.
You're correct. And also,
Let me
I
put
mean,
Let me
go ahead.
put it this way. Let's just use the GSBA WAKWAK, format of competition. Just because it's one of the biggest ones, right? If not the biggest one. The helmet is here, right? This is all you can see, and everybody in this podcast knows that the stick moves way too fast for us to keep an eye on,
correct.
right? So how can you possibly see everything when it's just this? Right?
Yeah.
Everybody, I mean, even boxing is a team sport.
Yeah.
FMA is a team sport. That means your team needs to know how you fight and how your competition is fighting. Your competition is fighting, because the purpose of the competition is to test your individual skills and your individual technique. How can you
Correct.
possibly see the whole thing, right?
Yes.
So, so that's why I require my students to have a video camera recording their fight, right? And then after the tournament, we do a fight analysis movie night where we watch the video, and then we see, okay, here's what you did this, here's what I want you to do, and then you watch the other fighter, see how they're doing and how were they able to pull out that technique, or how were you unable to pull out that technique? Those are the kind of things. So if you don't have a coach, yeah, that's fine. If you just like throwing away money, going to competition and losing.
Correct.
So,
And that's one thing that I also want to, maybe later on will happen, is we need to stage some sort of smoker fight wherein not a lot of money is being spent, but you get to train and to compete on a closed door system. You're still fighting as if it's a real fight before you go to a real competition. So, I mean, in boxing, in kickboxing,
I fought smokers in boxing. Yeah, I fought smokers in boxing.
You got to go smokers.
Yeah.
They have to have some sort of smoker.
Yeah.
right.
To really.
Well, I have asthma, so I can't smoke.
Francis, that's the positive. The smokers nowadays are not like how it was in the 50s and 70s. No one smokes anymore.
Yeah. Correct. Nobody smokes anymore. Yeah.
Why when you said 50s and 70s, why you made me sound like I was alive during that time? I'm like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Because Coach Freddie was talking about that, when he was growing up. It's like that's why they were called smokers, because everyone was smoking. It's just a haze, like a smog inside that room. So
right.
I mean, he having those layers of layers of training from beginning to whatever master, and then you have and then you have the smokers fight, then the semi-pro and the pro. I mean,
right.
Stages to climb up. That's when you weed out and kind of
well, I mean, that's the purpose of GSBA and WAKWAK, right? With GSBA, you start with a regional tournament, and that's open invitation. Anybody can walk in and say, I want to fight. If you win first, second, or third place, and then you're invited to the national level, now you're fighting the best fighters from, no, national, not international yet. You're fighting the best fighters from all over the country. And then if you win first, second, or third, then you're invited to the world championship. Now you're fighting the best fighters from all over the world. So there needs to be some levels in between, because iron sharpens iron, right? And when you have somebody that has been through some sort of what do they call those, forge and fire, and so when there's some sort of testing in between that, it just makes the metal stronger. So I do agree with that. I do agree with that. My school personally, we have been training with LA Dosifires with Grandmaster Erwin Mosqueda, right? So when it's competition, when it's tournament season, we'll go over there and we'll cross train with them just to make sure that we're keeping each other sharp, right?
And that's usually how it starts on Smokers Fight anyway. Small gyms, they go to other gyms to compete, to see their level of capacity to maybe last the round. That's the one thing,
So when I was doing Battle of the Bayani used to be set in February of every year, right? And it was, the purpose of that was so that if there was a regional tournament that usually happens around May, June, or July, right? So if we have ours in February, you can see yourself as a fighter how much more work you need to get yourself ready for the regional, right? And then the following year, we will do another Battle of the Bayani, but then that's getting them ready for the World Championship, right? So they need to, so they can see how much more work they need to prepare to go to the World Championship. So when I do tournaments, it's in the purpose of getting our fighters ready for the big competition.
Awesome. That's the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, that's the lecture plan anyway. But
awesome. The reason why I kind of know all about this is my background in promoting and Muay Thai fighters, and Julius being a boxer before knows how it goes. So there's some that's why we have to educate a lot of Filipino martial artists out there. You need to get in a program where they actually enhance you level by level. You go up. And if you want to go higher than learning and you want to compete, there's another stages that you have to go through. It's not a quick fix. Oh, I can hit you. Nope, you're gonna lose.
It's a quick fix. It's not a quick fix. And I just like to keep people in mind is that again, if it's easy to be a world champion, then everybody will be a world champion.
Yep.
Right. And there's a level of a level of a learning curve, right? And then getting yourself ready. Like one of my students, he's actually my most senior student, and he's been with me, and he's also the co-owner of FMA School, Raymond. He's been training with me, and then somebody suggested that he himself took it upon himself to lose weight. So from regional, he was super heavyweight, right? And by the time nationals came, he had to fight in the wild card because he lost nearly 30 pounds within 3 months.
In 3 months, yep.
Then that's when he realized that was his fighting weight. And then so it's like, there's a lot of tweaks along the way.
I heard wild card here. See,
no, exactly.
Sino itong kaibigan mo?
No, wild card meaning that in the GSBA Nationals, if you did not qualify, if you did not qualify for the region within your regional tournament, you still have a chance to fight at the Nationals. But in Raymond's case, he did qualify as super heavyweight, but he lost so much weight by the Nationals that he had to re-qualify as a heavyweight.
And to add on this layer of things that you need to learn and to be guided by coaches, it also opens up windows that you don't know they're there. Like, if you're not become a good fighter, you can become a coach, you can become a teacher, you can be an owner of a gym. It opens up other windows if you have those layers.
You're talking about me? It sounds like what I did, right? No, I mean, like I said, it's I make sure I emphasize this with my students, is that this is a team sport. The guy filming you is just as important as the guy fighting inside the ring, because this is how you get better. This is how you get. I need somebody to be with me. I mean, here's one of the things that we do. How to give your fighter the water is also, because you only have a 30-second break, right? And one of the things that a lot of fighters do, they're not allowed to take off their helmet, but they can lift it up just enough for them to drink water and put it back down. What we do is we get a water bottle with a bendable straw. Now, for some people that might seem innocuous, but if you think about this, once you have the helmet fitted correctly to your head, the moment you lift it up, it changes the orientation of the helmet.
Changes. You try to put it back on, now it's not as tight. Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, so now you just added another opponent to your match. Not just the guy in front of you, but now you're fighting your own equipment.
Yeah, you guys got to the details.
Exactly. So so I need to train my corner man or corner person to be able to know how to put the water, put it in, so that they can drink that water. Another thing that we have is we don't have those hand-powered fans. We have the battery-powered fans, right? Because I'm going to get tired doing this, but they need constant air. So I just put the fan right in their face, right? So small things. But makes a huge impact. Makes a huge impact, right? So, yeah, I mean, so ask one of my fighters, is the guy giving him the water just as important? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Right? Is the guy putting the fan in their face just as important? Yes, he is. Because those are the things that could be the line between second place and first place.
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, I mean, having the team also knowledgeable of your skill set also plays a role. I remember one time during a competition, I became the bucket boy.
Yeah. Why?
After the first round, I got promoted to first. Well, because
bucket.
there's other people. There's other
bucket
people
boys.
that bucket. Yeah.
No, I was just bucket. That's why I just said why.
There's other people that were coaching him, and then they can't do the job. Next thing you know, they looked at me, goes, "Hey, Paul, crew, can you come up here and help us?" From bucket boy to first coach.
Right. Well, I mean, let's just talk about the bucket boy. So I had one time I was coaching a classmate. This was before I became a teacher, and I gave him the water, and then he spit it out. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing, bro?" He goes, "Am I not supposed to spit it out? Do you see a bucket?" Right?
Minor detail. Minor detail.
No. But keep in mind also, like if somebody likes, like a fighter would like to turn their head and spit or just spit out right in front of them, the bucket boy needs to know where to put the bucket.
Correct.
Bucket.
And that's why, just the exact bucket, because bucket why, right?
Why?
Because that's why it's important to know for the team to know their fighter, right? Here's another example. I don't trust anybody else to put on my students' armor unless they're a member of my school.
Yep.
Because some fighters like it tight, some fighters like it loose, some fighters like it in between. It depends on the fighter. And if somebody else that's not from our school puts on their armor, they're going to put it incorrectly.
Correct.
So again, now you just added another opponent. You're fighting the guy in front of you, and then you're fighting your own equipment.
Yeah.
So
and those gear gets tricky, man.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And then here's another one.
You
one of the things
and it goes off. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I tell my students is that if you want to compete, you have to buy your own armor. There's no ifs or but about it, right? Because every armor has its own idiosyncrasies, has its own, habits in a sense, right? Its own quirks. So your body needs to adjust to that, and your armor adjusts to you. But if you're borrowing another armor from somebody else, that's a whole different thing. It's got its own quirks.
Yes.
And then first of all, it's nasty.
Where do you get the armor anyway? Because I remember back in the day, it used to be like just an eBay or something, or somebody
WAKWAK that store.
No. We don't. I wish. No. We get ours from Grandmaster Felix Royalist from Royalist Gears. So I'm very fortunate that he lives in Southern California, so I can just go over there with my guys, and then we put on the armor, and then we try it out. The full body armor, right?
The full body
armor.
The body armor, the helmet.
This weekend?
I'm sorry.
Did you go to the legacy seminar this weekend?
No, I did not. I was teaching. So last Saturday. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to.
So there you go, June. If you go to LA, you can buy so I can whack you.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't forget the Vicks. Don't forget the Vicks.
Yo, shoot.
So I mean, contact Grandmaster Felix Royalist if you guys want to buy armor. He's a great guy, extremely knowledgeable, one of the best FMA practitioners as well. Nice guy, and I'm just glad that I call him a friend. And at one point, my teacher Guru Henry trained with him, so technically he's my teacher too. So
Yeah, you think the JJP10 will discount code will work? I'm just kidding.
go try it. Go try it. For all you know, it does.
You should probably advertise his because he has a Budo Brothers thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Like a
does.
distance
Yeah,
seminar?
he does have the Budo Brothers video. Yeah.
Yep.
So
He does.
That's all. So let's talk about the seminars and stuff that's coming up. You got like events,
So I'm very blessed that I consider him a big brother. Is Kuya Doug Marqueda, right? And he is somebody that I talk to at least once a week, and he is somebody that I can share my problems with, and he will give me his best advice, right? And then because of that, I'm very fortunate and very honored to have hosted him several times. And we hosted him last February here in Southern California, and now we're hosting him again with Legacy FMA in San Francisco. We're hosting him in October 21st and 22nd. So if you guys, there's still time for y'all to sign up. It's at legacyfma.com/Doug Marqueda. We're gonna be dealing with the karambit. So and it's gonna be. I mean, when we did when we did ours in earlier this year in February, we didn't realize that we were gonna do a part 2 and part 3, but we needed to because there was so much stuff that Kuya Doug was sharing that we just ran out of time. So we're doing a 2-day seminar in San Francisco. So if you guys can go, man, I really encourage you guys to go. And we're doing a lot of stuff to enhance the experience. So yeah, legacyfma.com/Doug Marqueda. So
all right.
Yeah, we'll get that link so we can post it on our page.
Yeah.
Yep.
You keep looking to your right. Is there like a mumu there or something?
No. It's watching the other screen to see.
Okay.
Different whack going on over there.
The comments.
The comments.
Okay,
I'm on
just
the
wanna make
corner. My computer is in the corner, so I can't put two screens together.
My phone that's over here in front of me, so I'm like monitoring on this side.
Yeah, no worries.
No, I just have,
make sure,
I have a nick on my neck.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta work it out.
But yeah, so that's we have that seminar.
Yeah.
So what age did you really start FMA?
I was 19 years old. So I actually wanted to learn martial arts when I was a kid, ever since I saw Karate Kid. The wax on, wax off, paints on the floor, paint the fence. Like, I just fell in love with it. And then when I was a kid, I asked my dad, I go, Papa, can I learn martial arts? And he said no. My father was a pacifist. And the reason why he's a pacifist was that during World War II, the Japanese burned his father, my grandfather, alive in front of him when he was only 11 years old. So you can imagine the kind of trauma that he witnessed. So and the violence that he witnessed as a little boy. So that's how he became a pacifist, because he doesn't believe in putting any more violence into the world. Yeah. So that's why he didn't, and especially he didn't want his son to be, to do the violence in the world. But I really wanted to learn. So my dad told me, he goes, once you turn 18, then you can, of course, go learn martial arts, and with my blessing, right? No hardship. Unfortunately, my father passed away when I was 16. And I could have started martial arts at that point because he's gone now, right? But I still waited till I was 18 because those are my father's wishes, and I love him and I miss him every single day. There's not a day that I don't miss my father. And he, I was 16 when he died, so I still waited when I was 18. But that was really fortunate, because between 16 and 18, that's when I discovered Filipino martial arts existed. Right. I always thought, like, how come we're the only Asian nation that doesn't have a martial arts? Were we absent? Were we late when they were passing out martial arts? Probably late, right? So when I discovered,
how did you find out? I mean, like, How did you stumble into it?
Somebody, I think it was just somebody told me in passing, right? That there, he practices Arnis, and I'm like, what's wrong with your knees? What are you doing with your knees, right? Right? And then he goes, no, it's a Filipino style fighting. What's that? Is that what?
What's
And then
that? Yeah.
so I did the equivalent of Google back in 1998, 1997, which was, go to the library, right? And there was no YouTube, there was no Yelp. It was just go to the library. And then the more I read up on it, the more I'm like, whoa, I want to do this. I want to do this, right? And then when I turned 18, I started looking for a school, right? Could not find one, right? The closest school that I could find, ironically, is across the street from the cemetery where my dad is buried, right? And so I went to that school, and I asked them, like, sir, I would really love to learn, he called it Kali, so I would really love to learn Kali. And he goes, oh, okay, no problem, but you have to be a black belt in Taekwondo first. I'm like, guys, look at me. Jesus did not build me to be a high kicker. That's not my manufacturing specs, right? So I was really disappointed. So and then my first real exposure to FMA was when I was in New York. My cousins took me to this one martial arts store, and they had Professor Remy Pressley's Modern Arnis videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
but
okay.
they only had volumes 3 and volumes 5.
There's no
I don't
volume
know where there's no volumes 1, 2, and 4. I don't know if there's anything. There you go. I don't know if there's anything beyond number 5.
He got the videos, the DVDs.
Those are DVDs, right? I had the VHS. That's how old I was. Oh, look at that. See, there's more than 3. There's more than 2. I knew it. I knew it.
Prior to the pandemic, believe me, like in order for me not to be homeless, I had to sell my collection of books in FMA. I probably had one of the biggest in the planet.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and then, so I remember
Earlier, since you do that, I flashed this, just like,
I have that too.
You see how
That's
quick
amazing.
Jun did that? Those are
exactly.
porno VHS.
Exactly. But see, so I had the VHS just like you, June, right? And I remember putting in a volume 3, and he goes, okay, we're gonna do like this and like that and like this and like that. I'm like, what is like this and like that? I don't know what that is, right? And then I put on volume 5. He goes, okay, now we're gonna put everything together.
Yeah.
I was lost.
Yeah.
I was absolutely lost. So I was heartbroken. I feel like I wasn't gonna learn the style that I wanted to learn. And then one day I had a house party, and 2 of my friends who were dating at the time, they're married now, they saw my sticks in the closet. Right. And then they said, can we see these? I'm like, sure, but they're not toys, they're weapons. And then they picked them up, and they were moving like they knew. I mean, you guys know, right? You can tell if somebody knows FMA or not just by the way they pick up the stick.
Yep.
Right. And even though I wasn't a practitioner at the time yet, I could tell that they weren't fake. Right. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, guys, I'm begging you, introduce me to your teacher. And they're like, you don't gotta beg, bro. We'll bring you. Right. So they brought me to Guru Henry Kabillion, and that was in 1998, and to this day he's still my teacher. Right. And that's how I started FMA, man. I just at the moment I saw that, I'm like, this is my people, this is my tribe, this is where I belong. I belong with a group of people that hits each other with sticks. So
I'm curious, what was the name of that Taekwondo place that also taught FMA?
Kick.
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't remember.
I don't remember. It's
Just kidding.
okay. So if you know Orange County, and I know you do, it's off. Where Forest Lawn in Cypress is, off of Lincoln.
The Forest Lawn Cemetery.
Yeah, no, Forest Lawn, the restaurant. I mean, the cemetery, man. So,
yeah.
I mean, that'd be weird food. Yeah, the one off of Lincoln. It's like across the street from that by the Tambuli supermarket.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I just can't remember the name of the
think
studio.
I actually know those people. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Tanong ko lang kasi
Sure.
kasi isn't that very telling ng mga nanonood sa atin? Kasi nung lumaki sa Pilipinas, pumunta siya dito, 9 na taong gulang ka, di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Hindi mo nalaman na may Arnis.
Sham.
Huh?
Sham.
Hindi mo alam na may Arnis sa Pilipinas. It was only like
Yeah.
when you came here. See how like people don't talk about it.
No, they don't.
People don't talk
They
about
don't.
it back
And
home.
ironically,
You know?
our own people, because and this is part of the colonized mentality. We were told that nothing that came from the Philippines were
Is
worth
good.
anything,
Yep.
right? Only things that came from other countries that are good stuff, right?
Right.
So when we saw Taekwondo, when we saw karate, we're like, wow, that's better. So we never talked about it. So, but then ironically, there's a huge percentage of non-Filipinos going to the Philippines learning FMA.
Right.
Right. So now I remember I made a Bayani Talk video about this. There was a video in the South Korean special forces.
I remember that.
Were doing the knife technique, and it was it looked very, very Filipino martial arts.
Yeah.
And a lot of FMA guys were complaining, they're stealing from us, they're stealing from us, they're stealing from us. And then just like what Julia said, I said, are they really stealing from us? When our own people don't even know it exists. What we did with FMA, we made it an orphan.
Yep.
Where only foreigners appreciated it. So can we really be mad at the people that adopted the orphan?
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so
Yeah,
that's my point. It's like you can't get mad that other countries are using it
Yep.
because
Right,
they
right.
saw the value in it.
Well, because the thing is,
We
back home, when they think about it PE as an elective in college already, right?
Yeah, even high
And
school.
it wasn't until
Even high
2010,
school.
2009, Kuya
Yeah.
Paul was right, when it became the law, thanks
Right.
to Mig Zubiri. So the thing is,
Yeah.
like, if you are like living in the city or sa probinsya ka, and then you kind of live a sheltered life, you know how the old folks is at, oh, wag mo ganyan, baka madungisan ka, iitim ka, all this nonsense, right?
Right. You're
They
gonna
don't
get
talk.
dark.
They don't talk
I
about
know.
it. See, the thing is, you didn't pick that up until you were what, 16 and 18 here in the
Yep.
U.S.
Yep. In the
No,
US. So
actually, sa totoo lang, it's back then when I'm older than you guys, is hindi Arnis ang pinaglalaro sa PE. It's SIPA.
no. Isipa, yes.
Tama. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's, I mean, now you don't see.
I went to school there.
Now honestly, now you don't see SIPA. Kids are not doing it anymore
Yeah.
Right. They
because
don't. They're just kicking it. No, just-
correct. So
Sipa.
Tambay na tambay, di na sipa.
so
Yeah,
back
exactly.
then, yung mga bata, they get exposed to kung fu, karate,
Right.
taekwondo. But I came when I was 18 in the US. I didn't know we have a freaking martial arts. I was into basketball, wanted to learn kung fu back then, never had the
Right.
chance.
Oh,
Then I
Right.
came here, I got introduced to taekwondo because I was bored at home.
Right.
That's how it started with me.
may
You know, and
nagtatanong.
Well, I mean,
And I
let
think
me
a lot of
expand on
yeah, and I think a lot
Right,
of
Paul.
Filipinos, that's what happened when they left the Philippines and they came here. Their sports back in the Philippines wasn't Filipino martial arts. It
Yeah,
was
it
something
wasn't.
else. And then when they
It
got
wasn't.
here, they got exposed to it
yeah.
and then changed. Because
Right.
the stories that are being said are so close and so similar. What happened? Oh, I went to a taekwondo school or I went to a karate school. And then next thing you know, I met this guy who twirled the stick. I'm like, holy shit, I want to learn that.
So
I
I mean, and then part of the problem is that we have a lot of people that practices different disciplines of martial arts, right? But they went to a seminar to learn FMA, and now they're offering FMA because they went to a seminar,
correct.
right? And I'm not saying that that's what that guy did, but that's the same MO. Like they don't know enough about FMA to know that it's a full curriculum.
Yep.
It's a full system. That's why they can only offer it to their black belts because they have not much to offer, right?
Correct.
And so that's why when I do my own seminars, I don't offer certificates, right? I'm like, did you learn something? That's all you need to know, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, I have this certificate. This is, I'm like, what does that prove? Proves nothing, right?
Attendance.
Exactly. And then I love it when people tell me that, oh, I have a picture with so and so. I have a picture with so and so. All that proves to me is that you can take a photo. right? Show me your skills. Show me what you can do.
Well,
Right? That's the real barometer of whether or not you're experienced within Filipino martial arts. But a lot, and here's the problem within our community, within the FMA community. We are when we go to a Taekwondo school, we ask them, hey, can we teach FMA a little bit in your studio, right? But in reality, we should be going to these studios and, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity for you to add FMA into your curriculum, right? Is that, if you don't want it, great, I'll go to the guy across the street, your main competitor, right? So what I'm just trying to say is that we as an FMA community got to stop thinking like that we're begging other systems or other schools to let us be part of them.
Yep.
We need to start thinking like you guys are lucky that I'm talking to you guys to introduce FMA into your system.
Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because I just recently I have a potential new student that's gonna come this next Saturday. He was saying to me that he comes from an Aikido background, right? And I said, I used to do Aikido, but Aikido. Yeah, anyway, it's a joke. You'll laugh later. And I asked him, why do he's been doing Aikido for 14 years. And I said, why do you want to learn FMA? And here's what his teacher told me. He said, out of all the other martial arts system, there's only one I'm scared of, and that's FMA. Right? And that's FMA.
Damn.
So now he wants to learn FMA. Right? I'm like, wow, you trying to scare your teacher? That's messed up, man. So, but that's messed up. Don't scare him. But you see how other styles respect FMA, except we're still acting like we're naglilimos tayo, we're begging.
Yeah.
Right?
Our own people. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Actually, there's a comment that somebody private messaged me here. Sabi
You message your privates?
Yeah. That too. Normally sa provinces, ang mga Arnis as sport talaga.
Yeah.
Mga nag-Arnis sports talaga. Ang mga nagko-compete madalas galing dito sa province, not much sa Manila. So I guess they say it's in the province potentially still.
Well, I mean
that's somewhat true. We all know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. From when
kasi
I went
go ahead. Kasi naging national
when
sport.
I went to but when I went to the WAKWAK World Championship in 2008 in Cebu, Philippines, right? I saw amazing fighters from different parts of the Philippines, right? And there was this one, oh my goodness, I can't remember the name, and I'm gonna kick myself in for this. There was this one group that was from Mindanao, right? And these guys were amazing fighters. And apparently, from what I was told, that Marcos sent a regiment of army soldiers to that part of Mindanao to kick out the Moros, and then those soldiers stayed there. And so every day they're surrounded by people that wants to kill them. So everybody in their village keeps training in FMA, not for sports, but for survival.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, damn. And they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. I'm like, wow, I want to go there, if I wasn't scared of getting kidnapped. But yeah. So
Kasi one reasoning,
it's hard to kidnap me.
Yeah. One reasoning then sa province, the reason why it's like that. Number one, the other sports are expensive.
Yes.
Number one, you want to do basketball, you still have to have a playground. You got to get a rim to be put on somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And let's be honest, nung lumalaki tayo, Arnis at saka yung saksakan, it's really an art of the criminal element. It's the art of the poor guy.
It's
Well, I mean, but then again, let's look at we cannot deny that the Spaniards, subjugating us for over 300 plus years did not have an effect on our psyche, right? Correct. So everybody that does anything that is considered Filipino is considered for the poor.
Tama.
Because everybody that's not Spaniard was poor, right? Anybody, even to this day, if you're light skinned, you're considered beautiful.
Tama.
Right? But man, there's so many, morenas out there that are absolutely freaking gorgeous. And I know I
Pangit
made fun of
natin,
it
Jun.
earlier,
Pangit tayo dalawa, Jun.
right?
Kakasabi niya lang yung mga
I mean, not you guys.
Just kidding.
Not you
Kaya,
guys.
kaya ang dami
Yeah.
sa lahi natin.
Discount,
Gulat
discount
tayo ng
20%.
positioning eh.
Pangit,
Gulat tayo ng
JJB.
positioning.
Exactly. That should be the
Just
code.
kidding.
Pangit 10. That's your discount code, right? So,
Ay, nako.
but we cannot deny that the subjugation of our people for over 300 plus years did not affect the way we look at each other,
Mhm.
right? And because of that, keep in mind, the country of the Republic of the Philippines is not even 100 years old yet. We're still a young nation. And we're doing our best to find our way and create our identity. I would not be surprised,
Damn.
probably within the next 3 or 4 generations, that we change the name of the Philippines to Maharlika, right? To something more Filipino, because even the name Philippines is still a subjugated name because it was named after a foreign king that said that this belongs to us now.
Nakalimutan
Right? I
ko,
mean,
taga
just like-
Norte ka nga pala.
Magiging malalim na to. We just went down a rabbit hole na parang
I know. Holy shit.
No.
I'm like, holy shit. We went from pangit to
Tumakoy.
yung parang, eka lang, do I call Vicks or do I let this go? Man, like, what the
Vaseline.
let me just say this, gentlemen. There's talks of India, who was also subjugated by the UK for so many years, right? There's talks that India might change their name, right? So it's doable. It's possible. And like I said, I would not be surprised within 3 or 4 or 5 generations from now, Philippines is going to change their name, right? I mean, I wish they would do it now, but it's Filipino time, so it's going to be
like
late.
what Myanmar did, you know? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, but we're still a young nation. So the whole idea of things that are coming from the Philippines, from outside of the Philippines, it's much more precious.
Yeah.
Now here's the difference between Filipinos who live overseas. When we go home to the Philippines, we have a balikbayan box full of spam, corned beef, shampoo, right?
Yeah.
Basically anything we can grab from Costco, right? But then when we come back, what do we come back with? Tuyo, balut, right?
Yeah. Cheap stuff that nobody
No, the
wants to
stuff
buy.
that we miss as the Filipinos,
Correct.
that we miss,
Yeah.
right? Because we realized that what was in our it took for us to leave our own home country to realize the value that we've had the whole time.
And the funny thing about that is the people who are bringing that back to the US, maputi ka man, kayumanggi o itim, it doesn't
Right.
matter. You're bringing the same shit to
Yeah.
the US.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ang
Absolutely.
tatapang ka mo ng mga yun. You know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wala silang kinakatakutan. Yeah.
Dati Jollibee
You
ang
know.
binabaon too, pero ngayon at least lumalabas na yung Jollibee all across outside of
Did you see?
yeah.
I mean, look. I mean, again, we're going down this rabbit hole real quick.
Takot sa
But-
customs.
Jollibee commercials, right?
Mhm.
The Jollibee commercials, they actually don't talk about their food.
Correct.
What do they talk about the memories that people create at Jollibee, because in Jollibee, that's where people congregate as poor Filipinos.
I thought that's where like love stories happen.
That's why I go every day, to find somebody.
and that's one reason why Jollibee is successful here in the US
Yes,
because
because they're reminding
their
the
sweet
Filipinos
spaghetti.
what it was,
Oh,
what
yeah.
they love about the Philippines.
yeah, but back
Right.
then I remember back then when Jollibee was still new,
Yeah.
nobody wants to eat there. It's
Yeah,
always
because
McDonald's.
they wanted to go. They
Because-
want to go to McDo. They want to go
To
to McDo.
correct.
But now
I remember that.
Jollibee is killing it in
Killing
the
it,
Philippines.
correct.
Freaking-
Yeah, exactly.
they're, like,
Now-
opening all over the place, shoot.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you know what? I don't know if you guys know this, but April 27th, 2021, a couple years ago, right?
Yep.
Jollibee opened their first Jollibee in Spain,
Oh. Did not
right? 500 years after Magellan died. Exactly 500 years later,
know.
the Filipinos invaded Spain with Jollibee. We're going to get you guys back with Jabitis, okay? We're going to get you back with
Oh,
Jabitis.
There's probably a slight planning to that. It's like, no, we gotta fucking open on this date talaga.
Yeah, on this date, April
know?
27th,
Ay,
2021, 500 years after this Magellan came. We're gonna kill the Spaniards with diabetes.
I went
Okay,
to the one
so-
in London, and the only thing I was disappointed was like they were very incomplete with their menu. It's a lot of
Yeah.
items missing.
Yeah.
And then, but I know it's Jollibee. You know why? Because like in Tindera, she spoke with like a really fancy like Londoner accent.
Right.
Pero bungi siya.
Exactly.
It's not really-
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
it's
I
so
mean,
funny.
what I'm just saying is, I'm very proud of Jollibee. I bring my non-Filipino students there, and they try the chicken joy. Now they know what joy means,
Yeah.
right? And then the peach mango pie. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
It's the two-piece spaghetti. Man, now I'm gonna like go probably hit Jollibee tomorrow and post it on the on Facebook
Oh, I know,
sometime
right?
this
Well,
weekend.
just-
Is there
know-
one right by you? Right by you?
Yeah.
In Miami-Dade
No,
County?
unfortunately, there's not
But
one. Oh,
it's
I'm
about
talking
30
about it.
minutes.
Okay.
But just to add on that, so Spain, I mean, getting back into this, now we're Emperador now, Fundador, Filipinos. I mean, Andrew Tan owns that.
Yeah.
We're actually employing Spaniards to work
Yes.
in our company. Well,
Exactly.
not my company, but
Well, I mean,
Philippine-owned company.
It's ours. It's
Well,
ours.
yeah,
but
now
here-
you were
it's
holding
ours.
out on me.
But here's the funny thing, am I right? Fundador is again a low end or for low class people who are buying those. But the only people that really appreciate that brand, if they kind of know who owns it now, are the people overseas.
Yeah.
I actually go home, I buy those,
Man, dude, I was
those lapad, and I
there
give it
goes
as
our-
gifts.
there goes our Fundador sponsorship. I was positioning for Fundador sponsorship, but the way you just packaged
Good
it,
job.
I was like,
Good job.
well, never mind. Next.
Never mind. So
Man.
so what I'm just saying is that we cannot deny that the 300 plus years of subjugation does not affect us, and we're still finding our way back from it. So
Correct.
I mean, like I said, 3, 4, 5 generations from now, it might be a whole different thing. But we have to keep as the holders of the sacred art of FMA, we have to keep pushing forward. And that's part of the
Correct.
reasons why FMA School, we opened our first commercial location last June, right? Because we wanted to show the world FMA in itself can be a self-sustaining business.
Yep.
Right. It can be there's only a handful of other people.
Yeah.
My good friend, the one who owns Legacy FMA,
Yep.
he has over 130 FMA students in
Damn.
his school. Those are numbers that Taekwondo karate guys have, right? But he
Dang.
has 130 plus FMA students,
That's,
right? I have about 36 for mine, so I'm getting myself there. But we have to start pushing it even within our FMA industry. That we are not the add-on. We're not the side piece. We're the main piece.
The supplement.
Yeah, we're the main food. We're not the supplement. We're not the ketchup. We're not the Mang Tomas, right? We're the kare kare, man. So
yeah, man. That's,
Dang.
whew, man, we got deep pretty fast there on that end part.
Ah, welcome to the Jun and Paul Show, where we don't talk about FMA at all. We just like a 10% portion of it.
no, but
But
to
you
be quite
heard
honest,
but this is a good. I
4
mean,
3 to 4 generations from now, new country's gonna come. It's just like that. You
yeah.
heard-
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
let me just be very clear. This is one of the things that Kuya Doug is pushing out there.
Yep.
Is to push that FMA is a beautiful thing, right? And when he does his show Forge and Fire, and he's doing those techniques with the swords, he's using FMA to do so,
Yep.
right? He's putting it in the mainstream. He wants to push it out there, but he can't do it by himself.
Yes.
Correct.
We, as the rest of us, have to do our own thing. A lot of people ask me, why do I put stuff online? Because I'm trying to push back against this subjugation mentality that
Yep.
FMA is in itself a beautiful and a self-sustaining business art. We have to
We need-
professionalize FMA.
Yes, I totally concur. And really, there's a
And,
lot more people that really need to step up. Really, is what it is. I mean, there's a few of us that's already kind of like been stepping up, but we need a lot more of us to really kind of step
Absolutely.
up.
Absolutely.
Share the art,
Absolutely.
share the gift that we were all blessed with
Absolutely.
Arnis. Yep.
Absolutely.
And
Wait
and
for
we should
what-
talk about delicate stuff that people actually are trying to avoid.
Right.
And in some ways tonight we hit some of those jokingly, but in reality, that is some serious topic, dude.
No, it is. Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I know. I was a little bit kind of antsy on my seat, like, oh boy, here we go. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Francis,
no,
you should wait what Kuya Paul and Kuya Jun and I have in store for next year
oh,
for the community.
yeah. So
Hey,
speak,
anything I can do to help, just let me know.
hey, thank
Just
you.
let me know.
Hey,
I'm
you know
game.
what?
I'm game.
You know, it's an awesome, we talked from, yesteryears and stuff and whatnot.
Whew.
It's been
This
great
was,
having your support. But yeah, it's been a
We can
great,
talk for another 2 hours, but
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
phone is like
Absolutely.
but
low bat.
yeah.
No, I charge my phone my whole time. My phone and my lights are charging at the same time.
Oh yeah, mine too, but it's still going down.
Yeah, it's.
But
I mean,
anybody,
gentlemen,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
mean, just to cap it off. If not now, when?
Yep.
If not now, when? Right? When are we gonna? I mean, you should the next generation, right?
Then they have
Part
to.
of the reasons why.
Yeah.
Part of the reasons why I decided to put myself out there, as far as social media is concerned, right, is because it was hard for me to find my school, and if it wasn't for the intervention of God, right, I would have never found my school, the Guru Henry, and I would have never joined the Sign Legacy. Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't want that to be the excuse anymore. I want FMA, I'm not saying don't do other martial arts styles, but let's not discount how wonderful our style of fighting art is too.
Oh, no.
So, and we can make this a viable business. If
Correct.
I mean, there's business sense that you have to do, obviously, but this could be something that it's no longer, if there's a guy out there that's working a dead-end job because that's the only way they can put food on the table, but also does FMA, man, start plugging away, man. I mean, yeah, it took me a while for me to open my studio, but I'm here now and I'm growing. So
Yeah, I mean,
Alam mo,
it's
tama ka
considered
dyan
go out there.
because
Yeah.
I know I'm right. I know I'm right.
Because back in the Philippines, my own group, okay, I'm trying to help them to understand
Right.
that
Right.
they're working every day. Let's say the average is 3,000 peso a month, or maybe 5,000 peso. Am I right?
So
They
let
can
me
easily-
just to
they-
kind of
they
give
can
everybody.
They can easily
Just to
make
give
the same
everybody
money in 2 days.
Let me give this. Let me just to give everybody context. When I was saying earlier that I can stop asking my family to send me money in the Philippines, the average live-in housekeeper in the Philippines makes about 15. And this was in 2008. I'm sure it's more now. But in the average salary of a live-in housekeeper per month was 1,500 pesos a month. Right? That's $30.
Correct.
That's $30 back then. I was teaching. I had a group of number of students, and the minimum I charged was 1,000 pesos a month. Right. So at 10 students, that's 10,000 pesos. Right. And how
Correct.
many hours a week do I work? 2. 2
Yeah.
hours per week.
Yep.
And I'm making 10 times more than a housekeeper that lives at that house and is working every single day.
And that's what I've been trying to preach to other people out there. There is opportunity. You just have to go get it. You
Yep.
can't have that mentality of, well, it's too hard. How do I start? You got to start. Like what you said, when? You have to do it now. You know,
Right. I don't know of any Filipino martial artist that doesn't complain that FMA is not as popular as it should be.
Kasalanan
I don't know
natin.
any.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So kaya ang sagot ko naman sa kanila, so anong ginagawa mo?
Yeah.
What are you
Correct.
doing about it? Right now, I'm not saying you don't have responsibility. I'm not saying you shouldn't take care of your family or your. I'm not saying that at all, right? And again, I'm very blessed that my family decided to support me as I was going to college, as I was learning, as I was starting to teach FMA, right? And I was very blessed because my mother is such a brilliant businesswoman that she taught me everything she knows, and now I knew how to run my business the moment I opened up FMA school.
Yep.
right? So I totally get that. I'm not saying it's easy, but the question is, if it's easy, then everybody will do it,
Correct.
right? If you want to be a world champion, and if it was easy being a world champion, everybody will do it,
Yeah.
right? But and there's nothing wrong. And let me be very clear about it. There's nothing wrong teaching in a garage. There's nothing wrong with teaching at the park. You're just as a legitimate business as if you were teaching in a park, or if you have a studio like me or Joseph. You're just as legitimate, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? But again, we have to start somewhere, and we have to start today, not tomorrow, not bukas, right? No.
Yeah, there's
And since we all are doing this, we're actually trying to change the mindset of a lot of Filipinos on how we look at our art. Because most Filipinos, they lower.
Right now, people are asking that question right now. I mean, I've got people in the Philippines that are messaging and stuff that they're
lowering down our standard. I mean, put it this way, I met a lot of Filipinos, our own people, going, ang mahal naman ng charge mo, may discount ba? Right? But then when I put, going to the rabbit hole here.
Vix.
But if it's, I mean, we're going to be straightforward here, but if it's a teacher who's a non-Filipino, why are they willing to pay that person the charge that they're giving?
Yep.
Yeah.
Their kuripot when it's Filipino.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Important sila na really.
Correct.
Exactly. And so that's why, for me, I always ask for discounts. I don't care if you're Filipino or not. Right? I'll ask for discounts. Just that's who I am.
So I keep it consistent.
I'm keeping it consistent. I'm not racist. I want to save money from everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I
look,
agree with you. We automatically, the moment that isang puti ang nagsabi na, ito gastos ko, this must be worth it.
Correct.
Right? So one time I had a parent ask me, hey, we just want to know how much you charge. And I never tell people how much I charge over the phone. I never do, right? The only time that I would do is if they're signing up for my online class, because obviously they can't come to the studio if they live outside of California. So, but I never tell anybody who wants to come to the in-person class my price. And then so this guy asked me like, well, we just want to compare what are the prices of the other studios around you. I said, I don't base my value on what everybody else dictates to be their value. I dictate my value. I'm the one that tells you I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
And then you know what they did? They signed up right there and then. Because that's what I'm like, isn't that what you want your kid to learn?
Yep.
Is that nobody dictates to them how much their value is? You dictate how much your value is.
Yeah.
Right? And we got to stop that thinking that, maybe I'll just charge $25 a month.
My comment
Saka,
can't always get the kabayan discount.
It's not only the buyer we need to educate, also the seller, because there's some
it has to start with this. It has to start with the seller.
Yeah.
It has to start with the seller.
Because some sellers will go something like this. Magkano yung school mo?
Yeah.
150 per session. Then
right.
The guy buying hesitated, go, sige, 100 na lang. 100 na. Next thing you know, the freaking price is $50.
Right. No, when
and then you're
I
teaching this guy 2-3 hours in a day.
And
you're getting
Then after your session, they go somewhere else and train somewhere else for $250 for like and it's like
they take the knowledge that you gave to him, he goes again and charge another person for $250.
Well, I mean, so I had a student once that told me, hey, Guru, there was a guy who teaches karate down the street from my house. He's Filipino, and on his wall he says Filipino martial arts. Now I know that guy. He's an okay guy, but he said it himself. He doesn't really teach FMA, right? But he can say he teaches Filipino martial arts. Why? Because he's Filipino and he teaches martial arts.
Well,
he's not wrong.
Not wrong. He's not lying. So then, when my students, hold on. So when my students went over there, So when my student went over there, he told me, Guru, this guy is charging less. So here's what I told my students: get the fuck out and go train with him then.
Yeah.
He goes, no. You don't come to my studio, to my school, and tell me what my value should be. Get the fuck out and go train with him. See how many world champions he has. 2 weeks later, he came begging. Never let him back in.
Never let him back up. Yeah.
I never let him back in.
That's the funny thing. The reason why, I mean, Julius knows about this. I always question my guests when I ask them, why are we calling it FMA? Should it be Philippine martial arts versus Filipino
Okay.
martial arts?
So if we were going to talk about anti-colonization, anti-subjugation, right?
Okay.
Because if we call it Philippine martial arts, that still denotes the King Philip II. But in Filipinos, we spell everything phonetically,
Correct.
right? So
Yeah.
Filipino martial arts, even though you could spell it as PH, we spell it as FI because that's the way we spell everything, right? It's phonetically.
Well,
not
that is the new alphabet.
ironically, phonetically starts with PH, right?
PH,
So, but right.
Yeah.
But my point here is that Filipino. People say, "Why don't you call yourself Eskrima? Why don't you call yourself Arnis?" I'm like, I can call myself that, right? But there's so many different styles. There's so many different disciplines. But is it all Filipino martial arts? Yes, it is. Right. So that's why I call myself Filipino Martial Arts School. One, and it's easy to remember. So, it's pretty much that.
And
But
it was
yeah, no, I
available
mean,
on GoDaddy.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. Actually, that is the God honest truth.
No, I know. I remember the story.
Yeah.
I heard the story.
So FMA, my one of my best friends, his name is Aaron Groden. He's the one that designed my FMA school logo and my 413 media logo. Wonderful graphic designer. He's one of the best. In fact, I learned a lot from him. But we were Googling different domain names, and FMA school just happened to be available, and we're like, buy it, and hence the name FMA School and Filipino Martial Arts School, right? So that's the story behind that. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as a business within FM, making this a viable business, is it going to take some time? Yes. I mean, because I'm also a marketing consultant, so I tell people, when it comes to promotion of your business, it's either you spend a lot of money or you spend a lot of time. Which one you want to do?
Yeah.
So
that that's kind of a lot of things for people to think about and really consider. Yeah.
A lot of things that we need to come back to you again.
Yeah. All right. Well,
anytime.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of hit the a little bit over a 2-hour mark, which I was anticipating, but man, I was like, we could go out down so many more rabbit holes. Before we
Absolutely.
end, just a quick wrap up here.
Wrap up, ang daming wrap up.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
Ang daming
subscribe,
powers, ang daming
comment,
to
share, whatever. Make sure you guys subscribe. Actually, in all honesty, for everybody that's watching, make sure you subscribe. Just not to our YouTube, of course, to kind of help support there. And at the same time, as I said earlier, we do have a major lineup of some nice heavy hitters throughout.
Yes.
Actually, next week, Paul, you have.
We have Tandang Garimot, who's going to be talking to us again. Same as us. Comes born in the Philippines,
yeah.
to the US.
Yeah. So
right.
And then we've got Shashir on the lineup. Inokal, that's going to be there. Actually, I'm going to be starting to post a lot of these things here. We've got a chef,
Ramon. We're going to be doing adobo, cooking adobo.
Yeah.
So
nice.
If you guys want to learn how to cook a quick adobo,
we've got Lightning, Sachi there on the lineup as well too. And this is going to be week to week, so we've got a pretty freaking nice. And then come October, we got WAKWAK Stories by JB there.
Yeah, come October, we're gonna do not a parody, but a send up to Magandang Gabi Bayan, a Halloween Undas episode.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're doing a Halloween episode here that he's gonna be doing some WAKWAK, things going on.
Don't forget the Vicks.
So definitely everybody. I mean, these are it's exposure for the community. Let's help the community. Let's kind of really come together there.
Absolutely.
And really, one of the main purposes is for us is to be able to kind of really highlight and not just talk about their systems, but really get to know all the key leaders and leaderships that are in our communities right now that are doing great things, really honed in on their craft. And this is something that we get to hang out and really talk and enjoy everybody's company and really while sharing that with the group. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So Guro Francis,
before we close up, Richard Pacman commented, you can't always give kababayan discount. Okay, I just feel like I need to say something about that. Richard, the way you do this is that if your operational cost, you need to charge per student, is just throwing a number out there, is $50. Don't charge them $55, charge them $150. So if your kababayan asks for a discount, okay, I'm gonna drop it to $125. You're still making a profit margin, and you're not hurting yourself, but you're giving the kababayan discount. So always mark up more than you absolutely need so that you have room to go down to be magnanimous.
There you go.
There you go.
Last
Free
little
on
tidbit,
free.
and- yeah,
Free on, huh? Free on.
Free on, free.
Yeah, so-
free on.
At least we got something free now.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
WAKWAK.store is up and running
Yes, sir.
for the
Yep.
10% discount. You got the discount code
JJ
JJP10.
JJPT10, yes.
Yep, and definitely get 10% off the off the cart there and stuff. And I'm looking forward to actually seeing those padded sticks as well too. So everybody.
Hey, if you guys ever want me to come to Florida to do a workshop, man, or a seminar, let me know.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of, that's one of the things that's been, COVID was, everybody was kind of, in and kind of staying put and stuff, but now everything is open. So we're talking about doing seminars, travel seminars. So the Jun and Paul Show is definitely there. Guro Francis is definitely there. We've already been talking about maybe doing some alignments of bringing some of the West Coast guys here and maybe, get us some East Coast guys there and stuff. But
right.
Yeah. So if you guys have any interest in our craft and whatnot, definitely shoot us a message and we'll kind of pass it around.
For sure.
It's time to step
get out
up
there
and share the gift that we were all blessed with the knowledge and skills to be able to share this with everybody. So definitely.
So and then let me just share this also. Don't be afraid to reach out to another system. It's all FMA. And if it's all kababayan, if it's all under one roof of FMA, what you will find is that even though we think very similar, we express it very differently. Right.
Correct.
And so, I mean, nobody's saying just because you bring another style into your school that they're not, oh, now we have to change ours. It doesn't mean that. It just means you get exposed to other things, other ways of thinking. So don't be afraid just because they're not balintawak or they're not dosipars or they're not rapido, realissimo, kali or ilustissimo, right? That they're not part of your lineage that you shouldn't, explore other styles.
Yeah.
I am one of the few teachers here in Southern California that brings other styles of FMA to my studio. Yeah. Because I want my students to be exposed to that and it just enhances it, enhances it. Like what G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle.
Yeah. And actually, that's one of the things. I mean, look, as a community, we've already grown quite a bit from the yesteryears, but we're still a long ways to go.
So if you're in the IE, you must know Jason Cruz.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I do. Yeah.
But,
I know Jason Cruz. I work with his teacher, Felix Pasqua, Grandmaster Felix Pasqua. Yeah.
Manoy.
So, Manoy. Yeah, exactly. So I've worked with him. I've trained under him as well. So yes. Yeah. So
I'm sorry I interrupted you, June. Sorry about that.
No, and all good. But I was going to say that in terms of sharing the community and stuff, and really trying to grow and whatnot, and really just showcase everybody and what their skills and capabilities.
Absolutely.
Paul and I actually, this is going to be our 4th year. Come January, it's usually beginning of the year, we hold the Taste of Florida FMA gathering.
Nice.
So we actually invite a lot of the FMA instructors. So it started off here in South Florida in terms of a few of the guys and instructors here. Then we've been bringing a few of the guys from up Orlando and up north. But pretty much it's usually end of January, no, Paul, that we usually host it. End of January because it's around your birthday.
Yeah.
It's called the Taste of South Florida.
Oh, nagparinig pa, oh.
Yeah.
Nagparinig, oh, it's his end of his, that's his birthday.
Yeah, actually that's where it kind of was. That's how it came about. And the Taste of, I don't know, everybody was like Taste of Chicago, and we got connectivity to Chicago. So the Taste of Chicago is a big thing there. We're like, you know what? We should do the Taste of FMA here in Florida, and we kind of get together and barbecue and everything, and share cares of community. I mean, last time we have GM Bram, we had GM Chad Bailey, we had Chris. Who else we had? We had a few different instructors that, of course, me and you.
Guru Bai showed up too, and
and then
I remember seeing that online.
Yeah,
You
so
guys were
so
posting
so
about
you know,
that.
so it's one of those things. It's like, leaders within our communities start bringing everybody together because we've gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
And it's easier for us to do those type of things and then encourage our students to go
Yep.
because they're not, because they're already paying to learn from under us. But if we have a community like that, well, then go learn from that guy.
Yeah.
Right. And then your students can learn from me.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually,
So it's just those type of things. So it from a business perspective, it's very possible to make this a fortuitous event. So
yeah. And then actually, Dan Loman, Guru Dan Loman was there as well. And actually coming up, he's going to be bringing Coach Narzo in Naples and stuff.
Nice.
So he's at Coach Narzo's
Nice.
going to be there for a KI Kiro event. And
Nice.
stuff. So,
Nice.
We're going to be going out there and support. So yeah, I mean, this is where all the community really kind of reach out and band together. And still, we've got as I
For
said,
sure.
we were gifted with the skill and knowledge and lineage and all these things that we've got. So it's time to share, step up, so to speak. So
Right, for a low price of $199.
But if you come up with the discount code,
Yeah, Pangit number 10.
yeah.
Pangit number 10.
Hey, I'm gonna wrap it up here unless anybody else got one final comments. No.
My last comment is thank you, gentlemen, for letting me be part of this. I really appreciate it. I'm very honored, and let's do it again.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Can't wait to see you again,
Absolutely.
Francis, in person, just like
Yeah,
last
brother.
time.
And then
Yeah, let's
I'm
get Korean
looking forward to
barbecue again.
when I get to California again, and definitely, actually, even Julius and I, we've been freaking hanging out and talking for so long, and freaking never. But thank you, everybody, and
Yeah. Hey,
Thank
wait,
you, everybody.
Julius. Any last word from you, Julius?
yep.
Oh, just pay attention to Comic Con's coming up.
Plugging that thing already.
All right, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching the Jun and Paul Show with JV.
Hey, Francis, thank you.
Francis, thank you.
Maraming
very
salamat.
much.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming
sa inyo.
salamat. Mabuhay.
God bless
Mabuhay.
everybody. Mabuhay.
Maharlika!
You get in trouble.